What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
Very good.
Very good. All right. Yeah. Enthusiasm. I like to see it. Me. Tired as hell. Sorry about that. Been a long, short week. Not as long as John's though. I really have no excuse because I've been doing shit. But
yeah, we've been busy fulfilling. If anyone's been following on my channel, Mark and I, we've been signing the books the last couple days live, and we finished it, wrapped it up today. So tomorrow we're going on tour. We're gonna go around Michigan. We're gonna meet up with Joe here in Lansing. We're gonna get some breakfast, and I don't know if Joe's gonna go, but he's welcome to. Then we're gonna head out to Frankenmuth after that, and maybe meet up with another comic skater out there at Bronner's, the world's largest Christmas store.
Hell yeah. Yeah, my wife was not happy when I said I was thinking about going with you guys to Browners because she's got to work tomorrow. She's like, figures. I was like, well, baby, you could go, but yeah, somebody's got to make some money tomorrow. So she's being nice and letting me go.
Yeah, put in the work.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody to Appreciating Comic Book Art Live, Part 4. We are looking at Dale Keown's Pitt, issues 14 through 20. So, I mean, if you've been watching us over the last 3 episodes, we've been covering this entire 20-issue series, and we're going to end it tonight. And maybe we'll have a wrap-up show next week. It's still kind of being figured out and planned, but it's been fun so far, diving into Dale's work. Some fantastic art. I've been getting a lot of good feedback. You guys seem to be really digging seeing these issues that you don't really normally get to see from Pitt. So tonight, hopefully, it will be another one of those shows. Let me say hi to the chat real quick before we get rolling here. We had, I don't know if I can go all the way back up, but Snuggie Jr. I think I saw Michael Green was here first, but we had Snuggie Jr. What's going on, brother? Rick Saylor.
What up, Michael?
My man. Good to see you. Got B Rose is in the house. I'm sure he's getting ready to take a shower or a bath or something because that's what he does.
Just the bubbles.
That's just the bubbles. Good time, Johnny. Good to see you. How you doing? Let's see. Metal Movies and Brewskis. Yeah, Metal Man right there. That dude's got an awesome band, by the way, which I can't remember the name of it. Shoot me a link. I forgot, but he showed me his music once, and I really dug it. Good shit. Crazy Mad. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Yeah. Oh, I can't do that again. When I can do the A&S bit, that hurt my throat last time. A little bit too much. What's up, Prom? Oh, it's going to trip me up. Prime Tron. I got to slow down and say that. What's up, Phil? Good to see you, man. Let's see. Paul Acevedo.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing up. Good to see you. I hope you're doing good. Mike TV Dub. TV Dub. I got that right. Yeah. Finally, man. It could be the most embarrassing thing for me to read all these names because I swear I fuck most of them up. The Beam Pad. What's going on? Got Animal Mother 80. Got some new names in the chat. I dig it. Good seeing you guys. Nicholas Gear. Good seeing you. Jasper Plan 9. My man, what's going on, brother? How you doing? We have... Don't help me. Shinto Ketchup, right? I think I got that. Shinto Ketchup. Very cool. All right, guys. I think Past Master Dan. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Some person. Some person. And I think I've caught up there. If I missed you guys, I apologize for that. But we want to get rolling here because we got a lot of issues to get through. 6 issues. Yeah, we've been doing 4 so far. So I'm gonna switch my camera. And Steve, you want to give just a really quick rundown of everything we covered last week, story-wise?
So yeah, we went through issues 9 through 13. 9 was the last issue that was done and printed by Image Comics. Then Dale went to his own imprint and created Full Bleed. But essentially, the first 2 issues are kind of what we find out is that the origin of Pitt. You find out that Pitt is connected to Timmy through the way that Timmy's parents were abducted. Mom had twins at the time. Xiphoid abducted her, took one egg, dropped Timmy's mom and dad back on Earth. They had Timmy. Xiphoid took that egg, impregnated that, put it in a kind of hyperbolic time chamber, mixed it with his own DNA, created the creature that is known as Pitt. We see kind of some flashbacks of young Pitt. So that's baby an area, Pitt. Little baby Pitts, little Lilo and Stitch action from baby Pitt as he's hanging out. He's wrecking up the Creed base. And then his older, bigger brother Roth kind of beats the shit out of him. Essentially, kind of leaves him for dead with a lieutenant there by the name of Quag, who is kind of told to kill Pitt. Doesn't really see any honor in it. Kicks Pitt out of the ship. Then he has this crazy little romp around the alien planet. But then we flash back to Earth, where Pitt is back on Earth again. Him and Timmy have a conflict. Timmy finds out that they're brothers. They're both sitting there. They think it's weird. But then we're introduced to a new group, a set of villains that kind of conspire with the Creed, known as Think Tank. We get the character, Dr. Gilly, which is kind of this tri-brained, leader-esque looking character.
Dude's got a big head.
He's got a big head that has 3 brains in it. So he's attacked by him. Roth comes back to Earth, kind of like a Jason Myers kind of revenge story to kill Pitt. Pitt is possessed by the spirit of Xiphoid. Xiphoid kills Roth, and that is pretty much where we leave off.
Yeah, fun stuff so far, and we looked at some fantastic art. So we're going to jump into the last 6 issues here, which I think it covers 2 different story arcs, but they kind of all blend together. So it's a good run to do. So we got Pitt 14 here, which is one of the first covers you're going to notice that doesn't have Pitt like fully on the cover. Like 9's got his hand in there. But I want to say that 14 is the first time you see these crazy, what are they called again, Steve?
They are a new alien species, one of the few that was able to repel the Creed, known as the Ectotherons.
Ectotherons, yeah.
You want to go big screen on that too, Joe.
Oh, shit. Dang, good call. My bad. Yeah, Ectotherons. Obviously, I can't pronounce that because I can't read. Sean always looks high as fuck. That's why I like him. Yeah, and he's also covered up. Let me get rid of this. There we go. Now we can see your beautiful face there, buddy. So we got let's see, Dale Keown pencils inks plot, and then Richard Pace did the plot in the script. Really, that's too bad.
Ooh.
Colors again by Dale Keown, and we've seen this trend now where Dale has started to do almost everything in this book. Pencils, inks, colors, pretty much everything except for lettering. So we're going to see how his colors improved. I kind of like his palette. Again, this is another issue where it's heavy on the greens, but I dig that. Especially, I was like this. I don't know about you guys and how long it's been since anybody's actually read this issue. Does anybody remember the Marvel Comics Thanos miniseries? I want to say that maybe it was drawn by Ron Lim. There was a scene where Thanos gets dropped down on this planet and he just wastes like an entire army of its inhabitants. And this scene always kind of reminded me of that. And I always thought it was great because it's just this mass carnage. Pitt gets dropped down, got this badass fucking armor on here, and he just wastes like all these warriors on this planet.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, how can you not want to draw comic books looking at that pinup, looking at that page? Like, inspiring stuff.
And let me say, like on the color end, like you can tell already, like this is good. Like this is like he's not coloring to white, and now there's actual color there. Like I said, everything was very light and kind of pastel almost type. When you take color and you just go straight to white, it's terrible. I said it before. I'm like allergic to people coloring with white. Color with color, use darks and light tones, within that hue, and then use dynamic lighting. And it looks like Dale took a leap on the color end here. So maybe someone talked to him about using color to color with here. So beautiful blues and golds. And on that previous page where we saw the alien's head, you can see that blue lighting, that underlighting coming up from the right side there. Really great job. And then he's going from green to what it looks like a yellow, but there's no true white in the flesh tone at all now. So that's great job. That's great colors right there. Yeah, absolutely. He did a great job in this issue. I think this might be actually one of his better issues that he colors going forward. Past Master Dan said, white isn't a color, John. Yeah. White is like all colors, isn't it?
I dig the lower panel on the right side page. That kind of gave me like a 300-esque kind of vibe.
You're in my brain, Steve. You're just in my mind, because I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, it definitely does. I guarantee you it's probably inspiration from 300, I'd imagine. Very solid, very solid. I got Pitt 15 in the mail today. Hell yeah, man. We're going to cover that one next. Yeah, that one's got one of my favorite covers on it. One of my favorite covers. Just again, some just high octane, just in your face, detailed action. Even though later in the series, we've established that Dale Keown has kind of backed off on a lot of the crazy hyper detail. It's still very detailed in how he's drawing. These pages.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, these pages are amazing.
Incredible detail going on here. Again, he's coloring, and because he's not coloring them to white and he's putting the white in the background, I mean, it's like silhouettes. It's just like that Frank Miller before, except now we're seeing it in color. It's fantastic. This is top level art right here. Yeah,
and again, action scenes, like we said, is kind of like Dale's forte. He just does a great job of setting up an action scene. Let me see if I can bring my camera up a little bit. More of the book in there. Yeah, but this again, like if you guys ever get a chance to read the Thanos book that I was telling you about, it's got a lot of this in it, and I'd love to ask Dale one day if that had some of an influence, because it's got a very just awesome fight scene. I mean, like the first quarter of this book is just him decimating these guys and just some fantastic action, some classic, what we've come to know as classic Pitt action in this series so far.
What I kind of dug about the Ectotherons is he kind of blended story-wise the Kree and the Skrull together. Like you have the visuals of the Skrull, but the way how they look at Pitt and how they feel about Pitt being a warrior, kind of conqueror society, and him being kind of this like abomination is what they were calling him. They felt like it was like this royal charge or crusade that they needed, no matter at all costs, to take him out and kill him.
Yeah.
And that's like another kind of 300 vibe, like after Leonidas and all the Spartans were killed by Xerxes. I kind of had that vibe, like of this godlike conqueror that kind of defeated all these massive mounds of infantry and was going to the next wave to slaughter them.
Yeah, great down shot right there.
That's just great.
There's a lot of stuff in those panels. I mean, when you're having an epic battle like that, I mean that's a lot of drawing. Jasper says all the rendering is in the color, a little bit less rendering than he was in the early issues. Yeah, you can definitely see he backs off a little bit. I mean, you can see a lot of the detail in the muscles there, but yeah, a little bit more of the colors bringing out a lot of that than the crazy cross-hatching that we saw earlier.
Yeah, but I would argue that from his use of like he's got it now. Like he's got it mastered what he's doing here right now. Like he really doesn't need to do that line work because he's coloring his own stuff. He's able to almost duplicate that same cool factor through the color. So if he was doing all that high level rendering and doing all that color, I mean, it would probably take a crazy amount of time for him to get this done.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Longer than it already did. But yeah, I mean, when he started doing all this, I mean, he really stepped up his entire game. And I would say that, he was probably having a lot of fun doing this because you're exploring stuff that you hadn't done before. You're venturing into the color world, which gives you a lot more control over your art in general. Obviously you're already inking and coloring, and besides the story and plot, it's a big undertaking. But I mean, if you can do it, more power to you.
Mm-hmm.
This was always a cool character. I thought we could have seen more of. We don't really get to see that much of. This might be the only book she's ever in.
She pops up for this and explains what the shimmer space is, and then comes back when Pitt comes back from the shimmer space, and that's all we ever see of her.
I like Kite over here is getting a Luke Skywalker treatment.
His little robot arms were destroyed.
As Timmy again going at that really cool effect. The X-ray, I like the use of blues here.
I mean, he's doing just top level fucking coloring, man. Like,
yeah,
I said it on the last episode. Like when I saw those colors, I wasn't impressed really. But man, what he's doing here is like that's the artist's dream. Like, you want someone to care about the colors as much as Dale is caring about the colors right here. I mean, this is it. Fucking badass.
Yeah, he does some really good work. I mean, specifically in this issue, I mean, we'll have to see because it's been a second since I've seen some of the other ones, but I do remember this one always stood out to me for the colors specifically when I was younger. And I always thought the
And the fold-out mini poster.
I was just going to say this mini poster. Now, I've got a couple different issues of this. This is one of the issues where I didn't pull this out. But I had this hanging on my wall for years when I was a kid. And this one's the first printing. Actually, I think the other one was the first printing too. But this was about the time I was starting to get multiple issues every time Pitt would come out, because it would just come out, ever so often. So if it hit the store, I was there. I grabbed up like 2 or 3 issues at a time. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I really want to look into how much that's going to cost to do like pull out posters, because like Jim Lee doing those 4-page pull outs, man, like that's something I'd really like to attempt with Godlike is pulling just one of those big panoramic shots, and that's really the way to do it, I think. But if it becomes outrageous in the price, I'm probably not going to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, I would say who knows what the price is, and that would be. I've always liked stuff like this in a comic book, and unless I've got multiple issues, I'm not pulling it out. But it's still cool as part of the book, just being in there. Good time.
Neat little moment where he knows that he has to go into the shimmer space, because besides the Creed, the ectotherons are going to come to Earth to try to kill Pitt once again. So that's why this chick showed up and went, "Hey, I can put you in a pocket dimension, and they'll totally skirt over Earth and ignore it." But Timmy's like, "I don't want you to go," and he's like, "Dude, I'm saving you all by doing this. This is the right thing to do." Like one of those stoic kind of moments that Dale talks about Pitt.
I see a lot of new guys popping in. I got Robert, Derek, Murph, Nicholas. Good to see you guys. Good Time Johnny said, and I think he said this last episode too, that I sent all my Pitt collection off to Bookbindery for a custom one-of-a-kind hardcover. That's badass.
That ain't cheap.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I should do something like that. But then again, I like the individual issues, being able to go through all this. What's going on, Jason? Good to see you. It's a good emotional beat here between Timmy and Pitt, and it kind of shows you the direction Pitt. Timmy actually almost goes like a full-on Tila after this, if anybody knows what I'm talking about.
Another insane Pitt back shot there.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah,
is he adding more levels of muscle?
I think he is. Just muscle on muscle. Awesome. But awesome. I mean, does it look any cooler than every day when you see all that stuff? I mean, it just looks right.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Pitt definitely will be the top CG book for sure. Yeah, the omnibus, I think is gonna make a lot of money. But if he ever does, or when he does a new Pitt, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna make some money.
What issue is this?
This is 14.
Okay,
14.
All right, I want to try to put a mental bookmark on that.
Another great job on the colors here. Like I love just solid. I mean, it's just. Yeah, he's just knocking it out of the park with this. Again,
he's not going to white anymore, guys. He's using blues. These light blues. You can even see on the page to the left there. It's not going to white. Those highlights are not going to white. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'd like to know who he talked to about upping his game.
I don't know, but it happened. It looked like from one issue to the next. So, what was the amount of time that went between these issues? Is there?
This one is in June, and 13 was
13 to 1 where he was doing that really light coloring.
13 was where they had a lot of the greens. Remember, I was pointing out the big fight between him and Roth, and I really liked how his use of greens.
I think that is it, because I think I remember the cover. I thought was like bang on.
Yeah,
the interiors were a little like they weren't hitting, but now he's at that level that he did that cover. He might have done that cover last. I don't know, man.
Right?
He's got it figured out here in this issue. You can't really ask for much better than what he's doing at this point. From any professional colorist, he's delivering on the color end.
Yeah, speed bag boxer. This is the Keown review. Stoneman says super chat. Back Viking Wolf. One campaign ends tonight only on IGG. Absolutely. Speaking of which, TMC, what's up? What's going on? Prime time.
Moral compass, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Back Viking Wolf ending tonight. Everybody go check it out. If I got any mods in here, please drop the link for Viking Wolf. I'd really appreciate that.
And this is kind of where you see like the character change in Timmy, because Pitt left him, and he's like everybody's left him. His mom, his dad. He kind of knows his grandpa has living on borrowed time. So this is like the character shift in him. He's like, fine, if everybody's going to leave me, I'm going to leave you guys. And this is kind of where we see him get a little angsty.
Yep, like I said, goes full on Tila. I really like the background here, color wise, that Dale did. I mean, like black and white. There's nothing there, so he added all that cool ass kind of gives you a little bit of a view of what Shimmer Space is gonna look like. Right on, badass. Got some cool, like they always had some cool drawings. I really liked. He always put like a ton of the fan stuff in here.
And there's one from my Orange County, California, Garden Grove, California.
Oh, is there?
Yep.
Small world. Yeah. And all right. So let us move on. So 15, one of my favorite covers. And interesting enough, this is an interior page as well, but it just works so good. I mean, you want to talk about? I mean, that's some brutal shit to me. Like I love that. We're gonna keep on going here. We got Dale Keown, pencils, inks, plot. Richard Pace is still unfortunately scripting. And colors, we got Dale Keown, Richard Eisenhoff, and Brad T. Haffey is still doing the color separations, I'd imagine. So he's bringing some guys in, but he's still doing the majority of the colors here. So a lot darker of an issue on this.
We'll see if it holds up.
So I also thought this was just like a really awesome splash there. Again, Pitt and his muscles. So inspirational.
And
then he's visited by what is like a mix of alternate future Timmy and Jareb, which was that spiritual kind of light consciousness that was in Pitt. But he's like talking to him like he's totally omnipotent now. Like he doesn't really see it. Like he's trying to explain things to Pitt. Like, hey, there's about all this crazy stuff's about to unfurl. And whatever decision you make is going to change drastically the outcome of not just your own life, but the universe. Like he's trying to drop some massive truth on Pitt, but he's talking in such a larger way. Like Pitt's not really understanding it. And he's like, oh, that's right. You're linear. I'm sorry. My bad. I gotta slow this down a little bit. I can't drop truth on you with a metric ton.
Look at that massive hand on Pitt, like reaching out. That is about to grab Timmy. That thing is fucking insane.
Yeah, I think it's
huge. Like terrifying.
Right. Again, this is what comic books is all about.
Right.
Not this proper proportion anatomy. Yes, get out of here with that.
Yeah, no one should ever be allowed to draw the Hulk without thoroughly studying Dale Keown's Pitt run.
Yeah, absolutely.
That should be where you should start from, and then you should be allowed. Like, have you studied Dale Keown's Pitt run? No, I haven't. Well, I'm sorry, you're not ready for Hulk yet.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Go to his Pitt run and do your best to emulate that, and then make it your own.
MMB says, imagine having a hand that heavy. Well, that's why Pitt was so damn strong, man.
Well, and then this futuristic Jareb is like showing him like all these different things and bombarding him with different outcomes. He's all like, eventually you're going to have to kill Timmy. I'm not Timmy. I'm just taking the form of Timmy in the future. And you're going to have to kill me because if you don't kill me, then potentially a butterfly flaps its wings in Africa and all of a sudden your son in the future is going to die, Pitt. And he's like, wait, I have a kid in the future?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. You get a little bit of a shot of the future. That's why I really wish that, Dale had kept going on with this kind of story because he introduced a lot of things in this issue story-wise of where they could have gone. And if he picks up and does Pitt again, I have a feeling that he's just going to kind of almost totally reboot. But I would love to see him revisit some of these stories. Just Playing 9 says, how frequently did these issues come out? Not very. Let's see, between this one, the last one was June, and this one's September. So, maybe quarterly. Let's say
and
that.
That's frequent as far as
frequent.
Yeah,
it is. Perspective-wise, that's a nice shot. Just a master at his craft right there. There we go. So we get to the cover there, which is kind of like the triumphant warrior conquering Pitt.
So he shows him finally one image he's cool with because like the other images that he's seen, he's like, I'm never going to kill Timmy. I don't care about a kid that I will never know. And so then he tries to entice him with this image. Well, there's one minuscule outcome, like 1 out of 1,000, where you actually get everything that you want.
He's like, oh, okay, I can deal with that. Yeah, there we go. So there's a character I was really excited to see to get to that we don't really get to that much. The
Necromancer.
Necromancer. Yeah, that was going to be a sweet villain. I wanted to see lean more into if this series had continued. Dale did some great perspectives. Yeah, he was dude is just, I mean, inspiring. You know, he's just, his art is just inspiring.
And then this entire page is visions of the past, present, and future, because we'll see stuff in future issues to come.
Yeah, I like how they throw in some of the like classic. Was that a wizard poster? I think that might have been. You got issue 1 scene here where he's fighting the gang. I think that's the cover of 8. So yeah, it was kind of cool. They did a lot of these throwback, and then a bunch of the newer. We never get to see this character.
I believe when we were talking to Dale again, I don't know, man. My memory is shot, guys. But I believe when we were talking to Dale, someone asked him like his favorite, like what was his favorite Pitt work, and he said like the preview from Youngblood. Like,
yeah, he did.
Like
yeah,
that was like
yep.
like what? Like, dude, like just these whatever. That last issue was like on par and maybe better in its own way, like than even issue 1. Like that last issue was incredible.
Well, he also said that he doesn't remember doing a lot of it.
Yeah. I think he smokes weed. He's like,
I was just gonna say, yeah,
fried his brain. Yeah,
maybe he needs to refresh himself a little bit on these just to kind of remember
guy.
how cool of shit that he was putting out, and just work wise was great. A mini back shot there, but still very solid.
Fewer muscles.
Yeah. Yep.
Then, but pretty much we get that future like kind of watcher guys like, oh well, I showed you a bunch of stuff, but now you're gonna have to process it, so it's time to get out of the shimmer space. Bye.
Yeah. We get a throwback to the werewolf chick from issue 5 and 6.
I'd still date her with those creepy arms.
Oh yeah, I'd hit it. So Michael, I like this color wise. Darkness. What is just very awesome shot. Very kind of. What am I thinking of? What movie am I thinking of? This reminds me of
like Independence Day with like the freak show chamber.
Yeah,
where the aliens are at.
Yeah, that could be. But yeah, just everything about that panel is awesome.
Every sci-fi horror you've ever
right.
So, but that's what it looks like. That's great horror, great lighting, fantastic. I love the silhouettes. I mean, you don't have to show everything all the time, and it gives it that spooky look.
I absolutely love the colors on this page. I mean, that sunset is awesome.
Inspired.
And just, everything coming out of Shimmer Space is badass too. Very, very awesome shit.
And that's the last time we see the Ectotherin chick.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, very cool character. I'd like to have seen her stick around a little bit. Who knows? Maybe her and Pitt would have knocked boots. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, well, hold up real quick, because that panel on the left, second panel on the left, down shot, we have a return of the gold lighting.
Yeah.
Pitt's face there. Whew. Beautiful.
That is there's a little Chiodo esque there. That's for sure. That's badass.
That's definitely Isanov.
That's the only thing. Like if those warm secondary lightings were brought back like they were in the the first issue, like wow.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with those. I mean, you really can't. They just stand out so well. Some person said, how do you make the gradients look so good without looking digital? I don't know. I am not a colorist.
The gradients of the color, I don't know, because it's all digital. It's always been largely digital. Like it's otherwise, how do you make it like this? Is what I would say looks digital or airbrushed. Versus like a painting where you would see these strokes or these larger cuts. So it's just gradients. It's it's again like what we're looking at with that warm lighting is he starts with like a probably an orange, dark brown orange for the secondary lighting, and then he's working his way into a yellow. So again, he's not using a white, he's using a yellow. And then when you go to the other side, this one, the other side, it looks like he is starting to move to light, which makes me kind of question if this is still Dale or if somebody else is putting in their input in there. Because we've already seen, and Dale probably would have known that if he would have actually, instead of going kind of to that white and kept using that subtle blue that he was using for the highlights earlier, that you would get the perfect dynamic contrast of those cool blues and those warm yellows and oranges. Like that's like in movie posters and everything now, that's what they tend to go for. Is it's a beautiful look. It's very dynamic. It's opposite sides of the color wheel, so it works perfectly when you have cool blues going up against these orange and yellow colors. So if Dale would have kept using those blues, or whoever may have colored this, it would have just been.
We got a first look at
Timmy, aka future John Connor.
And this was just
cool.
Yeah,
his lighter doesn't work, so he blows up half a city block to light a cigarette.
Doing explosions is not easy. I mean, and I realize that a lot of it is in color as well, but you still have to be able to make sure you get at least the structure of everything in there to make it look believable.
I do not like that lettering, though. I'll say that. The
Bachum.
It's barely fitting on the page. It actually looks like it's getting chopped off a bit on the C.
Yeah, you're right.
It's transparent. It's not really adding. At this point, I would almost say either drop it out completely or move it into a solid color and maybe drop it below the explosion, in between the two panels. Something like that. It just where it is, how it is, the color of it. I think it might have a purple or kind of a blue outline. It's just I'm not really digging it.
What's going on, Art? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I feel you. I love how I love how the scene builds. Right, it's kind of it reminds me of some of the stuff he did in Darkness later on, when he would take that title over for Top Cow. Just kind of the pacing of the scene, very cinematic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sick, just very sick.
Yeah, he's got an eye, man, for where the camera's at and what is just the most dynamic shot. And he's very cinematic, extremely cinematic.
Got some pinups by.
Wow, Dale's really falling apart.
Some of these colored sketches in the back don't come up to snuff.
Right.
I never got this poster, but I should have. I don't even know if it ever came out, but I do remember seeing this advertisement and be like, I need that fucking poster. Like that's
Don't worry. Ethan will be reprinting it soon enough.
I hope so, man. If you got the files for that.
Like a blacklight poster of that?
Yeah, I would get that for sure. So issue 16, this came out in December. So this came out in September. Not too bad. If it's the same year.
Yeah.
This was the first one that had the parental advisory on it.
I noticed that, yeah. And I don't know if this was it started saying, contains scenes of horror and violence. Yeah, they started doing this. And I don't know if that's a Canadian thing or what. I have no idea.
Probably.
I never saw it in another book like that.
And we get into the whole ugly American storyline. So the lettering goes red, white, and blue for this little mini story arc for the logo.
Yeah. Speed Bag Boxer says, excuse me for not knowing your name, but the dude in the winter hat has some awesome criticism. The points he makes are spot on.
The dude wearing the winter hat in summertime. It's always like 68 to 70 degrees in my house, though. Yeah.
Sometimes I want to be like John and put a stocking cap on, but yeah, it's too damn hot, man. Even in my house, and I keep it like 68 in here.
When you're talking to Dale, John, you got to speak Canadian, so he's going to be like, "Oh, hey, John, you're wearing your toque there."
Art T Bear or Art Thurbert says Dale is okay, I guess. Yeah, he's all right. He might go places. That poster is huge. Come up on eBay occasionally. Has it? Man, I would love to find that somewhere. I really would.
Slick Willie.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to switch up the colors. So Dale is off of colors, and we've got Dean White and Richard Eisenoff doing the color work on this issue. And Richard Pace still there. Dale Keown still inks, pencils, and plots. Yeah, I don't like it as much.
Already, I'm looking at it. And I'm just like, it got dulled out somewhere. It's like, I don't know, man. Like Dale was working at like almost like Kyle Ritter levels of mastery of saturation. Also, like that grass that I guess that would be Bill Clinton there. That down shot, like the colorist didn't add any texture to the grass, like so it just looks like a green sheet or a green blanket is laid in there. Like, all you gotta do is, I mean, the colorists probably have great patterns that they could use, but you know, I'm much more of a manual guy. So if I was going in there, I would have went in there and just done individual stroke, and then I would have eventually faded out as it went away.
It's funny because here you can kind of see. It's hard with the resolution, but you can kind of see he does that a little bit in the first 2 panels. But he totally abandons it in this panel.
Yeah. Not good enough.
Yeah. This is also the first issue where Chris Eliopoulos, doesn't do the letters anymore. Now we're doing a Christian Zanier? I don't know, something like that. But yeah, this is I noticed this too. I was flipping through this the other day to kind of catch up because it's been a second since I've seen all these issues. John's pretty good though. Pretty good too. Yeah, absolutely. Pretty good too. Only one missing is 17 in Pit Crew 1 and 2. Yeah, I've got most of the Pit Crews. Afiolios, I don't know how to pronounce his name. But yeah, this is where I thought the colors kind of definitely were lacking. A little bit more flat. You know, like actually a lot more flat coming off of 15 and looking at this. Still an awesome shot here, but
because they don't love it. That's why, you know, it's like it's a paycheck to whoever is coloring right now. Sadly, they're just doing what needs to be done to get by. That's probably why Dale ended up taking on the coloring himself for a while, because he probably was like, I love it. I have a vision. I'm going to pour my heart into it. And it showed just from the growth. Because again, I said that first one, not very impressive. And then boom, he was on complete fire. And then sadly, he probably burned himself out because it's a lot of fucking work.
Right.
And then you hand it off to somebody who probably can do stuff really great when it's just a pinup. But when it comes to interiors, they're starting to just shit it out.
Yeah. Night Art.
Have a good one.
Get some sleep.
Have a good one, Art.
Thanks for checking out. I appreciate it. I think if you look at this entire issue, I feel like this was an issue just to get through. There's some really awesome stuff. Like, this is great. I love
Pitt
this.
Clone.
Yeah, the Pitt clone. It's cool to see. You know, like we're diving into the story now. We're getting some of the Pitt clones and stuff. But you see some of this other work. It's just not as up to standard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not bad, but it's just not up to standard as he's set so far. And I even noticed that as a kid when these were coming out, that some of the stuff was just not. I mean, don't get me wrong. That was still
you
good.
Get Timmy going to the halfway house, and then he's met up with his little future girlfriend there that killed the rest of the people inside the place.
Yeah, and that's my favorite panel in the entire comic book. Like, you know, like that's well done.
Why.
Well done.
Is it because of foreshortening in the hand?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like the art in the hand is fantastic in this panel. Like that.
No, this is actually like the other ones, like Bill Clinton when that purple Pitt looking character was there. Like Bill Clinton's expression, if you back up to that splash page, you'll see like Bill's expression. There is none. It's just lacking.
Yeah.
It's just not at the same level. Also, his fingers look a little nubby. But yeah, I mean, the art isn't back on par until those 2 pages that you're looking at with Timmy and his whatever future girlfriend. But again, the problem is you have colors that aren't being applied with love and care.
Right.
Pulling down the artwork now. But that artwork where he's with his girlfriend, that's on par with probably anything from the better work that we've seen. This here, not so much. But once we get to right here, now we're back.
Yeah.
Actually, the pencil, the black and white form, is back in form for Dale Keown. But the colors are not. They're not applying that extra level of quality.
It's funny because it almost doesn't even look like Dale in some of these pages throughout. You know, through. I mean, that does obviously, but yeah, some of these pages like this, it almost doesn't even look like Dale. And then you get back here, and then
he might have been honing it in. He might have been trying to pull in from some other influences or whatnot. You know, but his heart may not have been as fully into it as it was even an issue before.
Yeah, and that's absolutely a possibility. You know, even stuff like that. I mean, it's still a really cool Pitt pose, but this whole issue, like I said, is just not like coming off of 15, where it was just everything was really cool about 15. Coming into 16 was it wasn't disappointing as a kid, but it just wasn't the same. That's still an awesome shot. You know,
and it looks like this person is coloring to white on Pitt now. So
yeah,
that side, the characters in the background look great. There's greens and yellows on there, but Dale's smart. Oh, I like the gold underlighting. We got that going on again.
Yep.
But on the top side, it's back to white again.
Yeah, good shot. Nice, nice action pose. But yeah, again, we're back to like some of these faces and stuff. It just doesn't seem like Dale.
Yeah, well, even that one that you pointed out, the harshness of the folds of the nasal labial folds or whatever these things are called. Colorists can go in and sometimes they overemphasize those areas and it starts making the face look like mush. So, when that's why I always advise people not to put that line in there, because then the colorist wants to go in there and then they want to add their darkness to it as well. And then all of a sudden your face looks like a big thing of like, I don't know, silly putty. It's overemphasized, so you're getting these over-rounded kind of cheek areas, and whereas it should really be, even for a fat face, your face should largely be a smoother gradient, unless you're trying to get someone like a Willem Dafoe who has kind of that really kind of bony face. That's right. Where you maybe want to go in there, or Grand Moff Tarkin, and maybe kind of emphasize that stuff. But it has to be subtle.
I kind of dig the classic horror trope here that the werewolf is holding the head and says like, hey, if you want to get ahead in life, like when you always have like the crazy monster that does like some kind of like zany kind of, almost dead alive like kind of joke.
Jolo Art says Christian Zahner did pencils on a lot of Boundless comics like Unholy and the like. I'm actually not really familiar with the name, to be honest with you.
I don't know who that is. Is that someone on the book, or?
I think it's it's a letterer.
Oh, okay.
So must have been an artist too. And again, I'm gonna say, like the action is cool. It seems a little bit. I don't like criticizing it all because it's still really good. But it's just
good colors on that page, like. As a whole, that double page spread, nice oranges, a little bit of blue over there when he's ripping off the arm. Good stuff here. You know how previous books where there's a lot of action, you get the cool, crazy panels, the panel designs, and then these are just kind of really solid. It just seems like a departure from some of the action scenes. I mean, great, still good storytelling and everything, but just like design wise, seems a little bit of a departure from what we've seen him do in some of the previous issues, especially like 14 when he's decimating those ectotherians, and you got some really, really cool panel layouts. If you guys get a chance, go back and look at that. I just dig that better. I think we're also kind of missing out. Like I remember in the earlier issues, like we had a lot of great double page spreads that were just like just that massive arm going across, and we're right. I'm kind of sensing a lack of these double page spreads happening anymore, and that's fine. He's trying to get into this more storytelling, but those are fantastic to look at. A lot of fun. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. We just kind of wrap up this fight fairly easily. This is kind of one of the times where he just straight up just.
The Mars Attacks kind of like military guy that's like, I stand for the United States of America and I'll protect the president. Nope, you're dead. Shove you into a bunch of metal.
I like it. In this issue at the moment, I got to mute to avoid spoilers. You're reading this right now. I got you. Yeah, I'm glad that a lot of people are going back through their old Pitt issues and really catching up on this stuff, which is the reason for doing the stream, in case you didn't get these books, because some of these books are really hard to find. Ask OC Steve, he went and found them on eBay. I know Paul Acevedo is in the chat. He did the same thing. He's still tracking down some. Jasper Plan 9. Nice. Not easy to find. So if you didn't get them when they came out, this would be your best bet to see every single page.
And this was kind of a cool thing because like Pitt, like obviously that military guy, after he kicks him into that pit of metal and that guy dies, kind of goes, oh, it's the president that ordered these guys to attack me. So I'm going to use my mild telepathy and telling him I'm coming for him. And so this is on the left side. He's sending this image to Clinton like, I'm coming and I'm coming to kill you.
Yep. Which is a power you don't really see Pitt use a lot till right now. And it was, kind of something they were starting to lean into a little bit more in the storytelling with that. A lot of pages. Awesome stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I like how he used Grandpa there for the sketches as kind of like Stan's soapbox. Like he's using him kind of like as a Stan Lee kind of character.
Very, very grumpy. Very grumpy. That's cool. I like that kind of a shot from issue 12 there. Just the line work with the full blue logo. That's cool.
That's cool.
And then Timmy has a girlfriend. They started doing this on 17 where they were
Timmy has a new girlfriend.
Has a preview for the next issue, and they carried this out through the rest of the series.
Yeah, I think he was maybe trying to get back on track, even though the next issue comes out in March. But yeah, he was
great colors on that cover right there. Really good job. There we have that light blue, and the orange in the background, like holy grail of coloring right there.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm turning 15 in October, and I collected as a fan from 1985 to 98. Thanks for reviewing one of my favorite comics from that era, and I'm subscribed to this channel. Thanks, Coach. Yeah, it's awesome, man. I got to do a read-through. I'm sure my collection is very spotty. Always was hard to find Pitt books for me as a kid, so I always just made or had a mix of issues. Yeah, again, like if you were not like a diehard Dale Keown / Pitt fan, you probably
have
missed
holes.
Yeah, exactly. And me, like I was on it, man. Like I was not missing a single issue when it came out. So that's why I've got them all. And most of them I bought when they came out. There's only a few I had to go find. Okay, so Dale's back on colors.
I hope if they do a collected version of this that they're able to keep, or maybe even add in, like maybe get Kyle to go over the colors or something. Because it sounded like they were having a difficulty. I think I've heard Ethan mention something about having to scan from the books or something like that because the original art files might be missing.
Yeah, I heard him say something about that. Dale didn't have all the files anymore.
Yeah,
which is
it's not uncommon.
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, if in scan wise, like I'm in the process of scanning my old Reaper Destroyer book, and my scanner is fucking fantastic, and it's really coming up with some really good high quality PDFs that I think could be used to kind of go over and tweak colors. So I think they can definitely do it. It's gonna be a little bit of work though. Yeah, the original files are lost. Yeah, I think that's what he was saying. Yeah.
I think if someone like Kyle was there to kind of supervise the coloring, like he might be able to make something look like it's there when it's not. So
we got Dale Keown's back on colors on this issue with Brad Haffey. So we'll see. He must have been like, yeah, that last issue wasn't up to par. I'm taking over again.
Yeah, or he just gathered his strength again. I'm telling you, like what he did in that other issue was, I mean, that had to be time consuming and a lot of creative energy, man.
One thing to note, this Nick Vaughn. I don't know how to pronounce that. When I used to as a fanboy send letters to Full Bleed Studios and get replies, it was always signed by, or it was always from that person, not directly from Dale. But it was still pretty cool that I would get replies back when I used to.
Look at that!
Yeah, this is
god damn, man,
sick, absolutely sick.
Oh my this is God. Comic books. This is what it's about, people.
That's right. Yeah. This is not a Netflix pitch.
No,
right, exactly.
Whew, that's what happens when you love it, man. Dale is loving this shit, 100%.
Oof. Yeah, this was always one of those just throw your dick out moments, kind of splash page. And like I said, now we're getting back. We kind of lost that in the last issue a little bit, but now we're kind of getting back to those the big splashy pages that we saw early on in the series. I also thought this was kind of like a little Sam Keith feel with that. I don't know why, but I just get like Sam Keith vibe with that panel.
One of the things that I've always thought with Pitt, I was like, I was always kind of disappointed in the flesh tone color that he chose because he never went. Hulk is green,
Right.
And Pitt has this flesh tone, and like when I did Ruiner, I'm like, I'm going with blue. You know, I'm like, I want those things, but I'm really seeing the value in having that flesh tone. And maybe Dale had enough foresight to understand that with that flesh tone, what he was allowing people to get to really use dynamic coloring. You know, because so Ruiner is blue, so it's going to be hard to get that really beautiful kind of subtle blue highlight on top of an already blue character.
Right.
The red would be super easy. That red lighting, no problem at all. The secondary lighting, but like you lost that's a missed opportunity with that blue. So you can go with a lighter blue, but where he uses that, like here, that subtle blue in that where everyone else is just going to white, like you can only really do that because he's in that flesh tone.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought about that. Yeah, because the Pitt's skin, I mean, it plays off real great with a lot of the lighting throughout this entire series. I mean, Chiodo was doing some masterful stuff with it. Let's get some.
Then we're kind of introduced to what will be the Captain America Bucky. Literally, this guy's name is Bucky. That's for their Captain America in the series called Captain Curtis.
Yeah, it's a total nod. Yep, definitely a total nod. But it kind of makes sense, you know. I mean, the champion of America, you know, is going to defend the president of the United States from this alien invasion
with a mix of a little bit Winter Soldier, because Winter Soldier didn't exist yet, and they keep thawing this guy out to take care of whatever America's big problem is at the time. So I thought that was kind of interesting too.
You can see in some of these pages, he's backing off of some of the detail greatly, putting a lot of stuff into the big money shots, which is fine. I got no problem with that personally.
Cool shot.
Yeah.
And then they thaw Captain Curtis out.
Yeah, I was just saying. I knew he was coming up here somewhere. Yeah, that dude is jacked, and he's been hitting the gym.
This is when it's a good time to use white. When you actually have a white item, like if you're looking at white paper or a white shirt, like that's an opportunity to actually go to white. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you go to full white. You leave a little bit of contrast, because when you get to 100% pure white, that to me is like you're staring into the sun.
Right.
So, like, because you can't get any brighter than pure white. So, like if I see someone wearing a wife beater when I'm just walking around, you know, in daytime or something, or a white T-shirt, I'm not actually seeing it at pure white, you know, because that would actually be blinding me.
Yeah.
But just under normal conditions, you would be seeing it as like an off-white, maybe a little gray blue or something like that on there. But throw them right out bright into the sun, and then you can start getting into an actual pure white. Like I could hold up a piece of paper, because I actually have like almost a yellow tone lighting in here.
Gotcha.
The white paper would never be more white than my kind of yellow tone lighting, even though it looks like a white light in here. Like if you guys saw that stream earlier, Mark Polton was sitting in here on a different camera, and it looked very yellow, because my lights are like yellow. But here I'm on this camera, it actually makes me look like I have a white light on, but I don't. I have like a yellow light. So my white paper and my printer right here actually looks yellow.
Past Master Dan said, hard to believe it was almost 30 years ago. I know, man.
Yeah,
you want to feel old?
I'm pushing 40.
You want to feel old?
Not with the current stuff that's coming out with X-Men having dinner parties.
But it shows you like how much this shit holds up. You know, like 30 years ago, and this is still awesome.
And then there's their robot friend. Little Robot Stumps decided to go full-blown Reaver from the X-Men.
I absolutely love the horror aspect of this shot with Timmy's severed head. Like it was just really kind of leaned into, like I said, like it kind of gives me a feel of what he would do on The Darkness later, really kind of getting into that gore and horror and that and whatnot.
And the robot there, I would say, is too much white. So more classic. Where Dale can go in there and he can do that dynamic lighting that he's been doing everywhere else. But here it looks like one of those other guys stepped in to do a page for him and went to white with these characters. So you can even see in panel 3 that profile phase, like the colors are not popping on that profile, right? That profile phase, like they would have been in every other thing that we've seen so far.
Look at that American Gladiators outfit.
It's actually a pretty cool design. I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. There we go. Yeah. Now that's, make sure I didn't miss anything. That's just a cool shot. Like, that's the first time you see Pitt kind of use a weapon in this series.
Mm-hmm.
He just grabs a cannon and just starts blasting away. I don't know scientifically how that works, but I don't care because it's cool.
And look at that chain and that dynamic loop going towards it. Like, great job there as well.
Yep. And here we go, getting back to like the crazy panels. That's what I was kind of talking about in the last issue, or was it early this issue? Maybe it was whatever. But just the sense that you can kind of give the atmosphere of the scene with different panel uses like this, really, creates the chaos aspect. If this was a movie, this would be like a lot of jump shots,
like Black
really,
Hawk Down.
Yeah, just boom, 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 just really kind of chaotically moving you around.
And also, I would say, like, look at the use of the negative space, everything outside of the borders. So everything within those panels, full color, like it's all color in there. Maybe just the slightest hint of white at the tip of that laser blast or whatever in panel 3.
Yeah,
but to have that nice negative space, like I look at that and like that's like why I'm kind of inspired by what Will Spertasio had done in Heroes Reborn Iron Man, because he uses this dynamic panel layout, and this is also stuff that I'm considering with Godlike, and within those panels though it's just all this beautiful color, and then you just on the outside you have this white negative space sitting out there. It looks great, and it's a dynamic of its own.
I'd like to point out too, the detail and cross hatching he does on the smoke going up. He could have very easily just kind of let that go and gone in there with colors, but that really adds such a dynamic, in a more of a 3D depth. It adds a lot of depth to this picture than just outline and get colors in there. I've always appreciated when artists do that.
That cannon looks like a face or like a helmet.
The cannon?
Yeah, like there's like maybe
in the forearm section of it.
Yeah, in the bottom, like there's two like
right here.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
It's a cool design.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, there we go.
Captain Curtis.
Yeah, I like how you get Pitt kind of going like a full on Wolverine freaking bloodlust here, like just just the way that Dale's kind of depicting, like he's really kind of almost like a bad guy in this scene. Not really, but you know what I'm saying? Like he's drawn like this kind of
like the eyes are red. It's Iron Giant when the ding finally pops out of his head and he turns back into that killer robot. It's like, oh shit, it just got real, motherfucker.
Yeah, a cool shot of oh, you know what's interesting? Dale's got a signature here. I just noticed that. I wonder if this was maybe an alternate cover.
Could be. Sometimes people would just sign, like Simonson even would just start signing interior pages. Like maybe if you, I would think of it as like someone was like, I like this one. I think this one's good. This is worth the signature.
This is a signature page. I want this turned into a poster or promo art.
Yeah, cool shot though. I dig it. And that's another, like, that's a good face. Like, that's a well-drawn face. Like, it's most of this issue, you can tell he's kind of back on track with, having fun drawing. Like, the last issue almost seemed like it was a let's get through it issue. And he's kind of stepped back up his quality again. Again, with these, every issue so far has had some of these pinups. I don't know if these are fan pinups or if they're actually...
Yeah, they look like they were fan stuff.
Yeah, they look like fan stuff. But that's just it, man. With that kind of art, I mean, you have to be inspiring so many artists. Like, it's just jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
And then a back cover, which is, I thought was even radder than the front cover.
Well, yeah, because he uses that scene from
the jet.
Yeah. Yep.
That thing was fire, man.
coming
very
in June.
patriotic Canadian. I kind of like it.
Yeah, but like the subplot in a couple of the other issues, it's like Grandpa talking to Billy about how the electoral college is crap and that this guy got elected. So he's like, little minor infusion of politics.
Ugly Americans.
I was just gonna say,
the Pitt logo has been the American flag for like 3 issues now.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off as a kid too. But here's what I'll say though: this says it's going to come out in June, and it came out in June. So right on.
Well, and that's the line that that military guy says to Pitt before he gets kicked into that big like vat of metal. As he's like, "Hey, ugly Americans don't do that. Like, we respect the president and we'll die for him." And then Pitt's like, "We'll die for him, kick him." So that's where he got ugly Americans from.
Yep. So this is full on Dale. No help at all with the colors. He's the only one listed here.
Nice. Let's hold him responsible.
Great gums, great teeth. Red eyes, typical bad guy, or equals bad guy typically. Yeah, like
dynamic lighting.
Yeah,
every tooth has a secondary light source, and it's that warm yellow.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. You got the stars and the stripes in his eyes, shining back. Probably looking at a. Yeah.
Interesting. He's using that blue lighting on the right and the interior side of his face, but he's using a bit of white lighting on the outside, but it's working. I feel like he's just like a master. Like he can go like almost like he's like rubbing it and like, look at me, look how I use a little bit of white here, motherfucker. It's like, I'm gonna make it work.
Well, like once he started coloring and really got into it, I mean, his stuff really, really stepped up. I was glad to see that one issue wasn't him, because that was probably the weakest so far that we've seen color wise. But yeah, he definitely steps up his game color wise. Great shot there, awesome double pager again.
Beautiful stuff. If I was to nitpick, I would just say I'd love to see some of that nice, strong, saturated orange in the background or something.
Right.
Orange to red, like every time he goes to red, man, it's fucking insane.
Love that hand.
Yeah.
It's absolutely love.
Incredible.
It took me a minute with Captain Curtis, but it kind of reminded me of him doing his own version of Super Patriot without it being Super Patriot.
Yeah, Eric Larson's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Got the patriotic character.
And then I just love this where like the werewolf's mad that obviously she took like a piece of like cable wire and cut Timmy's head off through the other side of the door. But she's like, oh shit, his head's on the other side and I need proof that I killed him. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to rip the door open.
I love the copy panels here, and the only change is that at the end Timmy's looking up.
Right hand page, I would say again, move that whole background to oranges and reds. It has a dullness to it for all the viciousness of what's going on.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, for sure. That makes stuff pop a lot more. It almost seems like this entire issue is going to have that you know what this looks like? This reminds me of issue 12, color wise. The way he colored 12, like it really reminds me of kind of some of the stuff is a little bit more saturated, not as poppy lighting that he had there for a little while.
On the left side, I got what you're saying. Yeah, on the left side though, like if you look at that panel 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe 5, the guy with the goggles, he's got that smile like that. A couple times I'm watching him, he's almost getting like Travis Charest going on in these faces. Like he's like, I don't know. I think he's probably checking him out and like maybe getting a little bit of influence at times on here. But the lighting on there is great, even though he's using a bit more of the white stuff, like he's pulling that off.
Yeah, I definitely think that this was a era in Dale's art where he was experimenting a little bit, adding new stuff. I mean, you can definitely see, specifically, I'd say like in normal people, right? So on a page like this, we got a lot of normal faces, not muscle-bound superhero. I feel like he was kind of drawing a little bit different than he had drawn in the past.
Yeah, but these are better than like that one face.
Oh yeah,
out, like that crazy pointy nose that was on there. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
a
that
step
was
above. Yeah.
And then we got the werewolf kind of looking like, oh shit, Timmy's head's reconnecting to its body. I wonder what's going to happen. And then boom.
yeah, it just blows up.
Now, is there any chance that any of these pages, are we moving away from like a gloss paper? Are we moving into matte or anything?
You know, it does seem, yeah, actually,
Yeah, it looks kind
I
of matte.
do feel
We could be losing a little bit of saturation too, just by going to a matte paper.
yeah, it might be getting a little bit more, especially, yeah, I'd say specifically from 14. 14 definitely has a different feel to the paper. And you know, making your own book, you know,
And
maybe
then
it was a cheaper run. I don't know.
And then the ultimate solution is they kind of use this Akira satellite to mutually take out Pitt within Captain Curtis, and it literally turns the ground to glass.
Yeah, they just waste everything. Like, thanks for fighting for us. See ya, bastards.
A lot of impact though on that. Again, like
on
there's
this
the power of that red and orange, man. It's like, damn. Like he didn't, you know, he probably didn't spend more than 30 minutes, you know, drawing this out. But that color, that's the value of great colors, and that looks as saturated as anything we've seen. So regardless of the paper quality, this is able to pull out that dynamic palette. So it's probably more a fault of whatever he's doing at the time. He might not have been smoking as much weed as he was before. So
got a little subtle lens flare there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and people shit on lens flares, right? And they're, you know, it's like, oh, well, everyone uses. Well, it's like it's understandable that when you use a lens, well, yeah, but I'm saying in comics specifically, you know, they're like, don't use a lens flare, and I say, well, you can use a lens flare, but you have to use it right, and like that would have been so subtle. That would have been a good example of using it right. But what happens is, yeah, basically, colorists for a moment in time were going J.J. Abrams before J.J. Abrams, and they're like, let's put a lens flare here, let's put it here, and it looks so computer like Photoshoppy, you know, kind of the expression of what's going on. But you can do it, and you know, it just has to be done carefully. And like there's certain techniques, like you can even do it by using like a click of the mouse and with making a circle, and then you know, lowering the opacity and then starting to erase away certain aspects or cut out certain aspects of it to create your own lens flare kind of imitation look. That's where an artist comes in. But you can still use the straight up lens flare. You just have to know where to use it and not to use it in J.J. Abrams fashion, where it's like, hey, I'm getting out of the car, lens flare. Hey, I'm putting something in the fridge, lens flare.
I dig this moment because this is kind of like Independence Day when they try to use the nuke on the aliens, and then like Pitt just gets back up, kind of like with no skin. And they're like, "Oh shit, we didn't even put a dent in it."
Yeah, just walking around naked again, you know, alien dong all over the place. But you know, like that's it just shows you how powerful that character was.
And great use, like the negative space that's in panel 1, and then on the opposite page as well, all the way down to the right. Like that's like Will's Protasio there. Like that's what when I look at that, I'm like, that's what Wills would have done. Wills is always using like negative space. I don't know if he's directing the colorist so much as they see the opportunity, but you look at Will's Protasio work, you'll see characters standing on white backgrounds a lot. So
yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I really like it when negative space like that is used. I've heard some people kind of rail against it a little bit because it's, you know, lack of background and maybe somebody's consider it cheating or something when drawing. But when you establish,
fuck them.
Exactly.
What matters is if it's done well. You know, if it looks cool. You know, I don't know if the one on the right looks cool. The one on the top left, though, like that's great.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean,
even this because
works,
it gives
it works.
Let's see, get the glare out of here. But I mean, there's subtle shadow. You know what I mean? So that it gives a. But regardless, yeah, I like it when Silvestri was great at doing negative space. So was Roquefort. Kenneth is great at doing negative space as well.
We kind of have like this Wolverine kind of Lobo feel when he's regenerating because you can see like all the muscle fiber in the skin and the hair
slowly coming back.
Yeah, but what's neat is that he thinks he's killing the real article, but he is ended up just killing a Slick Willy clone.
Yep.
Wow.
And he actually, it takes him a couple issues to get fully healed. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like, he doesn't just heal right away. Like, it takes him a while to grow his skin back.
Wait, do we get Dong there? What's going on in that shadow area?
I don't see Dong specifically.
Oh, that's what a
Probably lasered off.
Yeah.
Poor
no,
Pitt.
no Dr. Manhattan going on.
Pitt's not packing. That's terrible.
Yeah, too
Super
bad.
laser sliced off his willy.
Yeah.
Spay and neuter your pits.
But that is a killer face right there.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's basically muscle, and his skin's ripped off. But I just love all the skin matter and muscle matter they put into his face. Great attention to detail. That's one of those things that just really, really excites me as an artist.
Yeah, it's
Great
great
eye,
how
too.
he took away the ink gradation and he used it with the colors. Like, if you look at the bottom
Yeah.
of the booth, the guy's a G.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And, he might be successful in life.
Maybe. Dare to dream.
Yeah, and then they kill. Is this another clone? I can't remember.
No, that's the real article. So they had the president. They killed the clone because, and then they're actually inside that government bunker, and then they actually kill the real president. So it was like a stand-in.
No more blowjobs in the Oval Office for you.
Oh.
They even addressed that with all these little newscaster storylines.
Yeah,
Go throughout the
I
issue.
read this.
And then the news report is like, talking about how the fact that, President Clinton was killed and President Gore is going to, look into it, and they're trying to find him. And then Timmy's like, I know where to find him.
Yeah, there's an evil looking Timmy right there.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
for sure.
Oh, Kurt Cobain, Green
Yeah,
Goblin.
Definitely a little Kurt Cobainish in there. Timber. Pit Crew 1.
Mm.
Got that going on by Richard Pace. Oh, that's too bad. Ken Lashley though.
Yeah.
Cool. Zayd, what are you saying? I was saying. Some would say Lobo.
Oh shit.
Yes. We said he was healing like Lobo, Phil.
Zayd brings up Lobo as much as I bring up I'm part Mexican, so I get the joke.
You
So
are the
here we go.
Mexican Blade, Sean.
Right, that's a fact.
We got Dean White on colors on pages 3, 5, 13 through 20 and 22. Dale Keown on all other ones. So if there's a page that sucks in here, it's probably Dean White.
We will hold him accountable.
That's right.
And that's the narrative for most of this episode. Is it's like the origin of Dr. Gillies, but
Right.
like they start out right, like okay, their parents were obviously by like Bikini Beach, got exposed to radiation. They were supposed to be triplets, but they all fused together and all have one brain. So it was like the flip side of New X-Men before New X-Men even existed. Like, I wonder where Grant Morrison grifted Cassandra Nova from.
Royalty rights. Get on it. Pit Crew covers, or Pit Crew, amazing covers, interiors not so much. Absolutely, I agree with you, Luke. 1000%. Now this
That's awesome.
is this is just sick.
Just jumping into the building because he realizes
Yeah,
this guy set him up to kill the president from the drop.
I tried to draw this as a kid over and over again because I just thought it was one of those pictures that you see when you're a kid and you're just like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Foreshortening, perspective wise, it's just so wicked.
Yeah, in the line art, I'd say definitely, but I'm not
Colors.
digging the colors
Yeah.
on it. Like the background sky, beautiful. Just something is not hitting with what he's doing with the color palette here. But yeah, the line art by itself, the foreshortening, absolutely. School's in session.
John, would you say it's the contrast of like when Pitt's actually falling at dusk and it's like the blue lighting itself, or
The blue is really, it looks, and it could be the monitor. It looks green.
It's got a little bit more of a green to it.
There's just something not working here. What I would have done is I'm stupid. I don't know what Dale's doing. I don't know. I could not replicate what he's doing because I'm just not that in tune to coloring. But what I would do is I would have took that green, that whole green section, I would have ran it through the hue slider, and I would have just kept going through there until I see something that is so dynamic against that colored background, and then I would have locked it down right there. I'd say that works. But this is not right now as is. It could be that it could be the green lighting. It could be even the maybe the near white lighting up top. It's hard to put my finger on it, but chances are it's probably in the green. Yeah. Green versus the orange instead of blue versus the orange.
Damn it, Dean.
Oh, but Joe, if you could back it up, I wanted to comment like that pose that on Pitt on that next page, like fantastic, man. Because like he's so big and bulky, his head's so small, but like that gesture, man, it's just like you can just almost feel that weight shifting on him. It's just like, God damn, like you can almost see the movement on him.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'll say is like I feel like Dale kept making his head smaller and smaller as we went and getting more bulky. I don't know if that was an aspect of the story or if it was just kind of, the cool misproportion that just was awesome.
I would say that the head is dramatically different from how it is even on the previous page here. So it could be smoking weed. It could be maybe that he's thinking like almost like the Hulk. The madder he gets, the bigger.
Right, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
So, but that is definitely a smaller head than what we're seeing on the left side.
Nice legs.
Yeah,
right there. And I also really like the pose too here from the back. Like he's really good at posing characters from the back. Just very dynamic.
Yeah, you can feel the weight.
She's a robot.
Oh, that's too bad.
Damn robots.
Sex bots.
Fembots.
That's what it is. Fembots.
And then we have like still more of this tragic story. Like he's born, the mom doesn't know what to do with him. The dad ends up going for a pack of cigarettes.
Never comes back.
Dies from cancer. The mom becomes like codependent on psychotropics. So then the kid pretty much convinces the mom to kill herself. And then he goes with the pediatrician, and that's where he gets his name Gillies from. He gets adopted.
Yeah, all I got is like when I saw that image of him as a child, maybe in the womb. I'm not sure what it was, but
I think it was in the womb. Yeah.
I got like a real like kind of David Lynch feeling from it. So I wonder if Dale's kind of almost being inspired by that. Like an eraser head or something.
Scanners.
Like that.
Oh yeah.
It had to have been a C-section.
Well, I was just gonna say this picture looks like she knows.
They mentioned it in one of the captions that it was a cesarean.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Because
he got you covered, Sean.
All right, good.
He's like, someone's gonna ask this in 30 years.
Yeah.
I wrote the note.
Another weed smoker.
I had to point out this. I always thought this was really hilarious.
Fembots.
That ball's about to go right up her cooch.
he's got the one finger claw right there. Like that's.
That no, I was talking about the rocket or whatever.
Oh no,
yeah.
I always noticed that.
Yeah, he got her.
Oh,
yep.
Got her.
I was like, I see what you're doing there, Dale.
That's brutal.
I feel you.
Misogynist.
And then as he's like slowly trying to escape out of the building, because he has 3 brains in his head, each one of them has a different color for their caption bubbles as they're all talking as he's slowly escaping out.
Good call.
Deep.
Big brain motherfucker.
And he went to school, studied too much, got his 3rd doctorate, and was decided to get over it, and decided to influence the government.
I mean, that's what you need to do. You can't fit into society, influence the government, take over the world.
And then here's the real kind of like dark thing is that he eventually did find somebody he loved, but then she didn't love him for his appearance. She and the aerobics instructor that she cheated with magically met a tragic death, but all the fembots are based on his dead wife.
I mean, that's what I would do if I had the technology,
That's horrible.
Sounds like Shane Dad packed cigarettes. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you have my curiosity. Does it establish why she fell in love with him? Did he have a shining personality? Or was it money? Like she wasn't into his looks.
Steve?
No, not really. I mean, it's just kind of like a blurb. It's like
maybe she looks too pretty. Like that girl's not gonna.
Well, he was suspect of it from the get-go. He didn't understand what it was, and it was because that the doctor. Well, she had money, and so it's this. They're alluding to the fact that he emits kind of like this psychic, like influence in proximity.
Sense. Yeah.
And so when she's away from him, obviously she met the aerobic instructor.
Yeah, she wanted some hard body and hard dick. not what he was given. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is that it? Was he using like a mental power on it?
Yeah, so it's kind of like Purple Man and Daredevil and all that other kind of Marvel stuff, where he emits kind of like an influence field.
Nice.
I wish I had that power.
Yeah, that's dark. Dark.
Doesn't work on YouTube, Joe.
Oh, damn it. So yeah, so now we're getting into some of the Pitt clones here, which I always thought were pretty cool. Some, Abomination just fucked up.
It looks like a giant
experiments.
doo-doo monster. He looks like the Golgothan from like Dogma on steroids.
Except cooler.
Take that, Kev.
Yeah, just some fun action here. Monster throwdown, something Dale does great.
Yeah, just shredding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, seeing this stuff just makes you get more and more excited about the thought of a new Pitt coming at some point.
Yeah. I just want to turn the page and I want to see a double page spread punch. Like that's what I want now.
Gutting right through him.
Yeah.
Drew said I didn't read Pitt as a team, but I'm regretting that now. Yeah, man, like this is one of those books that stuck with me series wise. It stuck with me until now. Like it's still good.
It was absolutely fantastic, but it was hard to follow just because of delays.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be able to have 20 issues of it back to back.
Here we go. He pulls a Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah, I was just saying it almost
He gets swallowed and then destroys him from the inside out. But what's kind of weird is that like it shifts from being kind of like a giant doo-doo monster to being like Sugar Man from Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of shows you like some just the fucked up aspect of the experiment. I like the expressions on the monster's face here. He's chewing, and they realize something's wrong. Like that's some good storytelling. Got some good expressions. Yeah, there we go. Now that's sick.
Burst out of him like Drax the
Thank
Destroyer.
Thank you, Dale.
Woo!
Awesome.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All the viscera.
Powerful.
You can see a spleen somewhere.
John, were you inspired to do a certain double page spread by this?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've ever seen this issue of Pitt.
Oh, okay.
Why? What was the double page spread?
Well, with the fetus?
Oh, when the graveyard is blowing out the girl. No, I didn't. No way. Yeah.
He said no way.
No, I was inspired by weed.
All right.
It's like, what would be great here? Fetus exploding.
More goop and viscera as he slowly just gets out of him.
That splut sound effect, no, it's way too light and way too red. So again, I say the best thing to do with sound effects is try to keep the gradient subtle. We're going from a super light, almost white value into just reds on the side, so the lettering becomes pink. It doesn't do any favors. Just like on the narration things, these are also things that I keep in consideration. More so now, because like as we've gone through Graveyard Shift, I just really involved myself into lettering and understanding what it is I'm looking for with these narration captions. Like to me, that white is too much. I probably wouldn't even want to be using that pink color, but if I was using pink color, I would just use it. I'd use that pink as like its lightest value, and then I just have to go to a darker pink and like keep it subtle, because again, when you go to white, it's almost as if you're bringing something right up close to you, and then when you go to dark, it's like you're pushing something far away from you. So it just doesn't work for me on like a flat plane. So having just a nice subtle gradient, usually up to down, a vertical gradient versus the left to right one, so you get the dark or the light top or bottom, doesn't really matter. But that's kind of my thought process when we're going through and doing lettering at this point.
I like that this is like kind of Dale's insight about how he feels about presidents, because it's like that leader character sitting next to all the different presidents. And he talks about how some were easier to manipulate than others, but he's like,
I dig it.
That Reagan guy was kind of a hard ass. Like he was the easiest guy to manipulate because there wasn't a whole lot there. So you could tell, maybe Dale wasn't the biggest Reagan fan. I don't know.
Yeah, politically wise, it'd be interesting to know what he was thinking. At least I would just interesting to know what he was thinking during this time. Let's see. Then we got finally going to confirm. Oh yeah, then he just kills this dude. I forgot.
Well,
Wanna
you
explain
find
that,
out
Steve?
that he constructed this entire plot to with the president, with everything to manipulate the government. For ultimately, when you go to the last page there and it shows that chest X-ray, is that all the radiation that merged his brain is slowly turning into cancer and just going throughout the course of his body. So he didn't want to go out in pain. He didn't want to go out this way. He just wanted something quick, but he wanted to use like his brain in this process to create this great intricate way to create this tragic death for himself, which he wanted Pitt to do it ultimately.
It's actually kind of cool, a cool idea when you think about it. All this was just so he could have a good death or a cool death, Have Pitt be the one that did it. It's kind of a cool concept. I like how Dale kept Pitt all fucked up in this issue from last issue. Just kind of gives you a different feel, like watch him go around bald and purple.
Yeah, did he lose all his skin again somewhere? Did I miss
Yeah,
that?
when he was,
there was an elevator.
When he was jumping in, he had some, but when he took that rocket, when all the fembots were around him, that burned off all his skin again.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, there's whatever this stuff
Bitches.
was. They don't really explain it, or maybe they do, but I didn't read it. But yeah,
he
he
filled
lost a
the
lot of
elevator with like acid gas or something.
Yeah. But this whole Pitt run to end this issue was, and over the last, I don't know, 3 issues or whatever, is pretty much just kind of shows you how powerful and unstoppable of a beast Pitt is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when they had the Pitt Hulk crossover, I really think, in my opinion, that Pitt should have just won that easy. I mean, I know everyone's obsessed with the Hulk and this and blah blah blah, but as a kid, I was full on Pitt, 100%.
All right, so this is the last issue here, right?
Yep.
last
Yeah,
issue.
What year are we looking at?
So this is February of
99.
99. Yep.
Wow. So, and the first issue came out when?
94.
Yeah,
Wow.
93, I thought, right?
Oh, okay.
Let me see. I'd have to open it up. I'm pretty sure it came out in 93.
So
And
under
here's the first issue.
under normal circumstances of the market back then, you would have expected 20 issues to be done in less than 2 years. That
Oh, yeah.
But at the level that Dale is drawing, ain't gonna happen. But if so, if he was able to pull that off, 20 issues at this quality in 20 months, he probably would have rivaled maybe even McFarlane. Because I mean the excitement for Pitt when that thing first came out, but it was just hampered by delay, and clearly it took 7 years
Yeah.
to do 20 issues.
And didn't Pitt 1? I mean, I know that Spawn 1's still like the #1 selling independent comics all the time, but wasn't like Pitt rivaled that for a little bit when it first came out? Like Pitt 1 came out and I thought like outsold all of the Image founders.
I don't know. I don't know sales wise, but I know in my heart.
Yeah.
It was rivaling it.
Oh, this was my favorite
almost
Image
everything
book
out there. Yeah.
I mean, obviously this is full bleed now, but yeah, when it came out, this was my favorite Image book, hands down. Methuselah said, "That's fembots for you. One day they love you, the next day they're burning off all your skin." Yeah, I feel you.
And I'm excited too because this is another issue I don't think I've ever seen. So I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know how well Dale finished this final issue. Now, Steve, does this conclude anything? Does it leave us hanging in an aspect?
Starts a new storyline, doesn't it?
It starts a new storyline and ends a new storyline, all within the same issue. So I don't know. This would be an interesting question to ask Dale if he knew that this was just going to be where he was going to end Pitt indefinitely or pick it up at, because like I said, this was a character that a couple issues ago, that omniscient kind of like all-time present Timmy / Jareb came and talked to him and said, you're going to be faced with a lot of adversity, but this is going to be your one pivotal point where you're going to have to make a decision outside of that whole situation with killing the president.
But the cool thing about this one, is he shoots from pencils. with the colors. There's no real inks.
Yeah,
This is the era where
call.
that kind of happens.
Oh, okay. That is interesting.
Yep, I was going to bring that up too. This is the first
Sorry,
one I noticed. No, that's awesome.
And then a point to kind of what I was making before about choosing the flesh tone color. So here he has, what looks like a base color red, and he's using orange and yellows for that vibrant highlight. But then he looks like he's moving to a purple blue to get around that red.
This cover just pops so much. Like it's visually wise, it's stunning. I love it. Simon says Pitt vs. Hulk was pretty cool too. So was the crossover of the Darkness. And maybe we'll go over those books at some point too, because they weren't on the scale I thought of the Pitt run, but they're still pretty decent. 90s Comics, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it.
Well, they kind of use if I'm not mistaken, like the Pitt versus Hulk crossover, they use the shimmer space as like a MacGuffin why the two of them met.
Oh yeah, I'm not quite. Are you saying that that's how they did it, or you're just wondering?
Yeah, I think they just use that as a plot device, how they had both of them meet and face off.
I want to bring this up as we go through this issue. You're going to see what I feel is a very heavy Jack Kirby vibe.
I mean, this guy looks like the Spirit without actually calling him the Spirit. The costume, the kind of light blue trench coat, and the plain white shirt and the red tie reminds me of the Spirit.
Now it's funny here because it says Dale's on pencils and inks, but it's definitely pencils, right to colors.
Yeah, and then there's 3 people on the color, and Did Dale just let go of the story and hand it all off to this Richard Pace guy?
He plots and scripts since
plot and
15,
script.
16. Yeah.
I just wondered, did Dale just say, do whatever you want with my character at this point, and I'll just draw it?
Maybe he did. Man, that'd be an interesting thing to ask him if that's the case, because I know Richard was doing some of the pencils for, was it Pit Crew or something, I think, for a little while. I can't remember. But yeah, he might have. But yeah, this is
look at this like Kirby-esque looking like Odin character, and then this Doctor Strange kind of like Sorcerer Supreme guy that come to warn this detective.
Yeah, that I absolutely see. That's full on Kirby there. I mean, even the shape of the hand is not how Dale would, under any other circumstance, draw that hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, there's definitely a nod here.
It's Kirby, but jacked.
Yeah.
Jacked Kirby.
Yeah, Chauncey said Pitt was the second best-selling comic in November '92, only beat The Death of Superman. Yeah, like when that came out, I mean that made bank when that hit. No, it's the other way around. He had issues working with writer Pace. Nope, it's the other way around. He had issues working with writer Pace.
Pace was like his co-writer. Is what
okay, his co-writer. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, but that's weird that you wouldn't credit yourself as co-writing the project if because I mean it is Dale's book. Why wouldn't he just say, "Hey, give me the co-writer credit"?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or co-plotter, something.
I mean, even on my book that I'm doing, I've got a guy that's helping me write, but in the credits, it's still going to say plot and writer me, and other writer.
That kind of screams of what Malbolgia.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that, and it also kind of reminded me from Ghost Rider, like Blackheart.
Yeah,
because of the tendrils on the back and the spikes kind of look like Blackheart spikes.
Yeah.
Wicked design. Like this was a character I was extremely excited about.
Wait, who's doing colors here?
Most of this is
who colored that page we're just looking at. I have to say it's not Dale.
This Elizabeth Lewis.
Okay, all right.
Colored this
because the red on that guy looks great, but the planets it's to white, like that's blue to white, green to white. Like you see how it doesn't work because they're not using color. Now the red is perfect on that that guy, but the planet Earth is a mess. That guy on the left hand page in the yellow kind of turban that looks pretty good, but then panel 2. Like it's colored to white again. You see that panel 2 on the left side?
Yeah.
I don't know about your copy, Joe, but those caption letters were like really hard to read for the Necromancer. At least on the copy I got. It was like I had to do like double takes.
It's because they use that, like, it's kind of a gradient font, right? Where it's like dark and then it gets lighter as you read, as the letter goes down, but then it bleeds into the next line. So yeah, it is kind of hard. The letters on it are very hard to read.
This is like one of the few times where like John's talking about like if they do the collected edition, you know, how they want Kyle to go through the colors. This is one of the few issues where it's like have Eric Weathers redo the fonts and the lettering.
I mean, if they have the original art, they could do that. But if they got to go scans from a book itself, I mean, they would have a hard time. Well, I would think they would have a hard time removing the lettering that's already there and replacing it. But, you know, maybe not. I don't know.
And again, knowing what I know now about what I want from lettering, like the word balloons from this kind of Malbolgia character, like again, that big spot of white in the middle of those things, I would get rid of that. I would keep it with the red, but I would just make it a more subtle transition from red to like a darker red, without getting so dark that you're interfering with the black of the text. Like that's the trick too. You don't want to, you don't want to go 50% towards black, because now all of a sudden you're gonna be like, wait, what's it say? So and I can't see it clear enough to comment on what exactly is going on with the text for is that the Necromancer?
I don't know if I can get
he's
it. Yeah,
talking to the Necromancer because he just recently destroyed his world, and he's asking him to chronicle, kind of like a scribe, his decimation.
Wait, the Necromancer is the red guy?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, and that's the one that you're having trouble reading?
Yeah.
Okay.
His font. Yeah, his letters in there is
the font itself is
the font itself is
just to get the story of what's going on. Like he's telling this guy to scribe that his next world he's going to go to is Earth and destroy it, and then the scribe's asking him like, hey, you know, once I write this all down and chronicle this your victory, you'll let me go, right? And he's all like, I might, or I might just straight up kill you. In fact, I'm going to kill you.
He's like, yeah, I'm just going to kill you. Leg Kick 1, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. And we got a return here. We got some Saurus.
Saurus and Bobby, a.k.a. Kyrie, and the dog.
Ah, the dog makes his return. And a rat. That's his lunch.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then Bobby's like, just don't eat it when I'm when I look away at something, just go ahead and swallow it real quick. And that's why we have Saurus sucking up the tail there.
That's a very King Pitt kind of
Mastro Hulk inspired
there.
I see Mark Silvestri's Batman there.
Oh yeah, good call.
You guys wear that one pinup from?
Oh yeah.
Like you're like, oh shit, man! If fucking Silvestri started doing Batman, holy fuck!
Yeah.
Like that one shot of Batman in the chair looked pretty epic.
Yeah,
maybe I'll try to find that. But the colors there again, that's coloring to white on the flesh tones, where you could have used the color from the monitors to make judgments on how you're going to actually start handling this scene. The pants are colored to white. It's terrible.
A little flat all around.
So I only keep pointing it out because I'm hoping there's a colorist in there in the audience somewhere that it will hear this and get it through their heads and start to understand why coloring to white is almost always a failure. And it's better just color from a lighter value to a darker value, or switch into a new color. So like red would go to orange, would go to yellow, and then eventually at its brightest it would go to a pinpoint of white maybe. But colors, you want color. So
Luke pointed out Pitt wearing shoes. This is, I can't find it, but this is a
didn't want to draw feet. This
is a throwback to the first, I feel, the first ever drawing that Dale Keown did at Pitt, which he's standing on top of a chimney or whatever, and the building he's wearing pants and he's wearing boots. Because originally Dale had designed him with pants and boots. So I almost feel like this is kind of like a subtle nod back to that.
Like the Upshot one?
Yeah. It's in I had one of the ash cans sitting around here. I was gonna pull it. Oh, there it is. Maybe I'll find out if we're done.
Can you share my screen real quick?
Yeah,
Joe, thanks. There you go. That's the
there it is.
That's the best Batman. Like people saw that back in the day and were like, "Oh fuck,
hell yeah,
shit!" Like everyone wanted to start drawing like that. Like
Yeah, I mean, he made me want to start drawing like that.
Mhm.
I mean, I absolutely got a lot of my inspiration and style from Silvestri during that era of his art.
Yeah,
Just,
that's
woo.
beautiful.
Look at
All right,
those leg muscles.
Yeah, I know, crazy. All right, that's all I wanted to show. But
And just for anybody in the future, I will be doing one of these streams on Mark Silvestri at some point as well, because I will dive into my favorite artists big time when we get there. Old Dirty Fatty said, I asked to be notified, got nothing. Oh, that sucks, man. Hit that bell for notification.
Oh, Old Dirty Fatty, right? He's the one that wants to meet up with us at Bronner.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Maybe
what
we'll see you
I don't
tomorrow.
know. I'm not sure if I said that or not, but yeah, if you want to meet up with us at Bronner's tomorrow, we're going to be there somewhere between 1:30 and 2:30. So if you're in the area, look for us.
Oh,
And then I'm planning on heading over to that little touristy village area, if you know what I'm talking about. So if you don't find us there, we may be making our way over there. But we're going to go to Bronner's first. So they'll probably be around 1:30 to 2:30 range.
There you go. Luke said, Malibu Sun, I have the original color guide to that
cool.
cover. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, that Batman statue was awesome. So just kind of cruising through here. Got the Odin looking dude, Doctor Strange looking dude, just kind of jamming, talking.
Well, like the Odin guy pretty much tells him, like, hey, the Necromancer is going to come. And for whatever reason, this detective now that has a different tie change, it's now blue in this panel. They tell this,
change,
they kind of tell this like detective guy, like, don't interfere. Otherwise, we need Pitt to die. And then the Necromancer will leave. Like, if you help Pitt, there's going to be ramifications for your actions.
Oh, there you go. Another splash page that was used for the cover, but still, I mean, that's just wicked. So
Badass.
wicked.
That page doesn't really look like Dale. The one on the left, like the
This one?
facial expressions. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few times where some things don't quite look like Dale.
Especially the chick's face, like reaction wise.
Yeah.
And it could just be, getting through the page quickly. Maybe he had an assistant that's not credited, doing some layouts or transfers. I don't know.
It's not uncommon.
Well, also he's trying to put in, for whatever reason, this kind of Jack Kirby influence.
Yeah, true.
So maybe by trying to change his style up for those other characters, something, a habit or something was carrying over into his normal representation of these characters, and might have been fucked with it a little bit.
Old Dirty Fatty said, "You'll know me, 6'2", fat as hell, and bald." Yeah.
All right.
Andrew Wyatt said, "I'm driving back to Michigan tomorrow. Freaking hell, I'll love to go to Bronner's."
There you
Everyone
go.
loves Bronner's,
meet us
man.
up at Bronner's, guys.
What is it?
So we'll have
Is
a
it a restaurant or
It's a giant Christmas store?
The world's largest Christmas store.
Oh, you guys better get high and walk through that.
No, I'll be stone cold sober. All I say is, guys, I don't know you. Don't bring guns or knives or weapons or anything like that.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And don't bring a bad attitude. Thank you.
Because it is Christmas land and this is John's happy place.
Yes, this is my happy place. That's why we're going there. So
this is kind of speaking of what Soros loses his legs. That sucks.
He becomes a little stumpy dinosaur now.
Yeah. But yeah, this whole panel, both these pages don't. I mean, it's Dale, but it kind of has that odd Dale look. I guess is the best way I could put it. Almost kind of very resembles some of the stuff he did on Pitt versus Hulk or Hulk versus Pitt.
And then this is kind of like weird, kind of like later Raiders of the Last Crusade when the first Indiana Jones movie, the Ark of the Covenant, when they open it up and all the spirits come out to like attack Pitt.
Oh yeah.
And they're circling around him, and then all of a sudden they go inside Pitt, and then he's kind of possessed by these spirits, like Ghost Rider style.
Danky Frankie, is that a reference to the Pump Room in Southern California? Because I used to go to a place called the Pump Room where the girls would wear the bartenders would wear underwear. So.
Oh, all right, let's go.
What's going on?
My buddy liked to go there, so we went with him. My wife and I, we would go there. We'd go play pool. Yeah, that last page.
Yeah, Simon.
Back one real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, this is colors on the left-hand page. The execution of the line art, no bueno.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So, and that transition from red to green is trash. And just really disappointing on what's going on here.
Even
I mean,
this,
you got an opportunity, like he's bringing in that Kirby, but the design, I like the design, but I still want Dale at peak Dale, and then to pull that kind of Kirby design in on top of his style instead of changing his style into that kind of Kirby-esque view. Even this guy with the big, chin, it's just I don't know, looks a little too goofy for me.
I was gonna say, like, the face is just, it's not up to par with what Dale can do. It's really backed off on the detail. It's very flat. Yeah, giant chin. It's like you said. I mean, if it's a nod to, if this issue is kind of like a nod to Kirby, I get it. But I second what you're saying.
The whole thing is like, don't help Pitt, and then like the whole discussion with these like godlike beings is he turns around and goes, "I helped Pitt months ago." So it's like, for guys that know everything and see everything, you didn't see this like detective guy with a pretty bland kind of costume talk to Pitt and drop some truth on him.
Sounds like the Eternals plot.
No, the Eternals also have a Bollywood musical in it.
Oh God,
are you serious? Like the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Movie?
Yep, it's going to have a
one.
Bollywood dance musical routine in it.
Yeah, they got to push into the India market.
No way.
That's what they're doing.
I refuse to accept that. I refuse to accept your reality.
The coach disavows the Eternals movie.
Yeah.
Danky said, "Yeah, the Pump Room. My friend used to bartend there, 2016ish,
which is an Orange County.
Yeah.
bar.
So we were there 2005ish, I think. So,
and then we get Pitt Ghost Rider here.
Yeah. I mean, it's a wicked shot. I like the use of the vertical panels.
He's not even trying anymore.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I'd like to add, if this was just kind of, maybe, like Steve said, maybe he was just kind of like, this is gonna be the last issue. I'm gonna get it done, wrap up storylines, and then I'm gonna ride into the sunset, because there's a drop off in what he's doing here, and
the mere idea that he would have Richard Page start taking over the story, the scripting of everything, that alone is enough to say, like, oh, okay, he's losing his love for this. And like you said on Ethan's, what was your favorite issue? The preview book,
the Youngblood 4 backup story.
Like, yeah, so he I don't know, maybe he had a hard time pulling or motivating himself to find that inspiration to do each new issue. That could be the thing. Like, he just wasn't in love with his own character.
Yeah, and I get that. Sometimes that happens,
Well, you even look at like what John's talking about. Like, Bobby down there doesn't look like the same Bobby that had the reaction when the Necromancer was coming up out of the ground.
Right.
It looks like two different Bobbies altogether. And this is just kind of like, okay, so he uses evil spirits to blow up a body of the Necromancer, but then Pitt's like, it'll come back.
That's a very Liefeld face of the chick.
No, I would say it's almost like I don't know, like a Cedric No Coon or something from No Con or something like that from back in the day. But yeah, like almost like an Extreme Studio, J. Scott Campbell kind of wannabe for that time. That's not something that you would see from Dale Keown. I wonder if somebody came in here and started ghost working some of this stuff. Richard Pace drew, right? Maybe he came.
Yeah, but he wasn't the quality. I mean, unless he had.
This isn't Dale Keown quality here. This is
that's for sure.
Someone else has possessed this man.
Because we got like two different styles right there between like the Odin character and the Doctor Strange, and then like the Will Eisner spirit kind of characters near the end. It doesn't really feel like anything like Dale's from.
Well, there's the last, what would you say, last 4 issues. There's been pages here or there, panels here or there that doesn't quite look like Keown, and he very well might have had a ghost artist coming in and doing some stuff, or
is that the
finishes?
Last page?
Yeah,
that's the very last page where those godlike beings said, like, "Hey, you did interfere, you did help Pitt. So the next time this guy comes back, we're not helping the mortal plane. Like, kind of riding Mortal Kombat. We're out. It's your guys' problem."
Yeah, that's just how it is. So the last time you see Pitt is right here on this page.
In that first panel, it's just wow, what a letdown.
Yeah,
I would say probably one of the worst issues of Pitt.
Oh, it's not my favorite at all.
Issue,
Yeah.
final issue. Wow, incredible.
says, why were those two panels on the left page, far left, with the screaming guy and the bright, flashing white light copied from the page before, or was it? Yeah, I mean, it might have been. I've seen a couple of these panels that almost look like they're just kind of copied or flipped. I'd have to go back, but it very similar at least, at the very least. Pitt 14 is one of the best by far. Yeah, 14 was great.
I might stamp that. I might agree with that. Pitt 14 was.
If you're talking about like
one of the
past
best comics
issue
made
6,
in the 90s, for sure.
It's why when he did Pitt Darkness crossover, he said it was revamped or retcon to before Pitt left Timmy. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, I didn't mind the storyline. I thought it was kind of interesting. I would like to have seen where he went with it, but I guess not reading this in such a long time, I didn't realize how
Steve, what was your overall
different
thoughts
this issue
of
was.
the storyline?
Of this issue was incredibly.
The entire series.
The entire series was good. I kind of dug the storyline because it kind of leaned into different areas, and we had the overall galactic fight. We had the fight with his family that kind of felt very kind of like anime-esque between like Roth and Xiphoid. You had the whole think tank situation, which they were trying to go kind of lean Weapon X with it, but didn't really execute it to its full like ability. In my mind, I would have liked to have seen him actually fight more clones of himself to get to that leader character. Like I wanted more kind of like a Bruce Lee, like big boss kind of thing for him to eventually get to him. I thought he got to him like way too quick, especially for a guy who's like this uber genius and was planning this ultra mousetrap where he was almost kind of hoping Pitt would fail, but for him to make it so easy for him to kill him, it's like, why would you go through all that BS to have him kill the president, to fight the government, to then come to your building to fight clones when you could have just said, hey, I killed your mom, Pitt. It was me who killed him. Like, you could have just jumped down and slashed me, and that could have been the end of it. But overall, I dug the character. It's just this badass that's it's an unstoppable killing machine. The vibe of the character is like Jason, almost from Friday the 13th, but like a good guy when we would get later into the Friday the 13th series where you stopped giving a shit less about the people and you just wanted to watch Jason just decimate. And then, but with Pitt, you had that angle with it, but you also had like him being a stoic lone warrior that he always knows that regardless of whatever he does, that he will always be alone, because once he's done being the hero, they will always look at him kind of as a monster. And so the really only other person he has in life is Timmy, who's literally his brother when he finds out through the course of the story. I thought that was a neat turn reading that as a reader and explaining like the age difference and the accelerated time. But I think there's a lot of opportunities if Dale wants to revisit this, that if he could take sections of this timeline, he can go back to having Pitt be a warrior for the Creed. He could have Pitt as young Pitt, kind of figuring out his way, ultimately becoming that. And then there's a lot of other time where we could even see like teenage Timmy. We could see the story after all this.
Yeah.
So those are different eras, even within the confines of these 20 issues that he could expand upon. I think the whole Ectotheron thing was kind of a lost storyline, that he was dead on arrival. It was just, okay, let's shove him into Shimmer space. Let's not have him fight these guys that he once fought before when he was a Creed foot soldier, but now have him actually fight him as Pitt and be cognizant and aware and go, hey, maybe we're on the same side. Now, we both want to see Xiphoid go down. We both want to see the Creed go down. And then if you want to fight me afterwards, we can settle that shit later on.
Yeah. Real quick, Joe, can you bring that comment up?
Yeah.
The one that was up there. Why did he leave the series, and why do you think he stopped loving doing it? Well, I think he left the series because he stopped loving doing it.
Yeah.
Why did he stop loving doing it? I'm not exactly sure, but it really seems like that became the case when you hand over the writing and maybe even the plotting to somebody else, and to give them that credit. Like if that's your baby, you want at least plot credit, something in there. But maybe he just wanted to take a back seat and draw. You know, it might just be your artist, and but it's labor intensive what he did. So it's hard to say. But he also had a real passion for music, and like everyone knows that Dale Keown used his money to actually build a music studio in his house. So
yeah, I can't blame him for that.
Yeah. Joe, what does it say on this? Like, what was this promo from?
So the reason why I want to bring this out, because we were talking about Pitt with pants and boots. This was the first promo he actually drew Pitt, and this was the first design he drew for when he was going to come out for Image. It says the above pencil sketch from the finished drawing on the right. The sketch shows a high level of quality that Dale Keown injects into all of his artwork that he produces. Nothing but 100%. And it says both works done in 92. So it doesn't really give too much information, but I know for a fact that this is the first time that he drew kind of Pitt in a pinup with his design. So no chains.
Almost humanoid at this point.
Yeah, a lot more human, like proportion wise. His head's a lot bigger. His body's a little bit more Wolverine. A lot of hair.
Like a Danzig Pitt.
Right. Yeah. It almost kind of is. Like it, and you can tell that he'll be before Pitt 1, or actually before Youngblood 4 hit, that he kind of went back and rethought it a little bit. But yeah, he talked on one of the EVS streams about the first time he drew Pitt, he put him in boots. He had the boots and the pants right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm so glad he went the direction he did and away from this, because I vaguely remember this image. But having gone through all these books now and just like, this is pretty dramatically different, almost like fan art of the Pitt we know.
Right. Yeah. When you look at from the beginning all the way to the end, it did kind of have a slow, kind of a sad ending when you look at the art, because I mean, we saw some peaks of where the art was. And even with issue 14, some of the stuff you saw in 15 and 16, there was some fantastic stuff being done, but the last couple of issues, I don't know, who knows what was going on. Only Dale could really go through that point, but sometimes that shit happens. But the point is, I mean, this entire series, if you guys get a chance out there to buy at least the back issues, or the first 4, 5, 6 issues, I mean, you can't go wrong. This is a series that's going to hold up for a long time. It's some fantastic work of Dale Keown's in here. I mean, just some inspiring art.
What I love about that one cover, if you back it up, it's like they're so close, they're about to kiss, but it's like, it's not nose to nose. It's like it's teeth to teeth.
Teeth to teeth and gums to gums. Ethan said he's going to publish it, collect it in maybe 3 parts. It's only 20 issues. John, tell Ethan that he better do a whole run. Yeah, I heard Ethan say maybe 2 or 3 parts. I'm like, well, it's only 20 issues. So
I'm sure that's a money thing. You know what I mean? So you can easily sell that in collected editions, and then you build up to the omnibus. So if it was just the omnibus, then you wouldn't make the money off of doing 3 collected editions. So I definitely will be happy to get collected editions and an omnibus.
Oh yeah, whatever they put out, whatever All Caps puts out, I'm getting. Yeah, I'm a sucker. You got my money already.
I would tell you that I would be even more happy if that omnibus included another Pitt story. Throw that in there, and then, man. Well, but yeah, when we get to that issue 20 though, in an omnibus, I'm just gonna be like, delete. That thing is such a poor representation of the art that we see. Like even the worst coloring. And some of the weaker efforts of the illustrations in the earlier issues are nothing compared to how issue 20 was. Like, very disappointing.
Yeah, that was I guess I didn't realize that until we just went over it, because it's been a while since I've read issue 20. I guess 19 is the last one. Like, I was really into 19 for some reason. Like, I almost sometimes thought that 19 was 20 when I think in my mind when I thought back in history. So reading 20 was almost for like the first time again in a long time, and it's a little disappointing.
Another reason why he might have left is, again, because of the lateness of the books. Like, he would have started. I think you said on Ethan's stream that like Pitt #1 did like 600,000 copies, and then maybe even an additional 400,000 on newsstands. So again, because of the distance, like, you know, like we were saying earlier, people that collected Pitt back then, unless you were hardcore, you have a spotty collection. You have some issues, and then you missed one that came out because it came out so long in between the other one, but then you happen to be at a comic shop and then you find another one and you're like, oh, here's one, and you just buy it, you know. And as sales over that course of about 6 years, I think
93 to 99.
93 99. So over 6 years that Dale's probably sitting there and putting out these books whenever, and he's just watching the sales kind of tick down because people are just not finding the book. They don't know when it's going to come out, and they've gone off and done other things. So when you're watching that downward trend, you're losing your motivation. So if it had been an upward trend, even though he was doing these periodically, that would have been motivation to say, hey, I have an audience that is still growing. They're getting more excited for more time, almost like Tool.
Yeah,
you know, because like Tool puts long times in between albums, and it's like people are like, "Where is the next album?" And I wasn't it like 10 years or?
Oh yeah,
it was
a long time.
So, but even they may experience, you know, like a downward trend over the long term. But you know, they did some really great albums. I'm not sure if this newer album is great or not, but
from Tool fans, I heard that people have really dug it. I've never been a huge Tool fan, but a lot of my friends were, and they you know, it's worth the wait, I guess.
My point of view on Tool is like the newer albums, as they got more progressive and kind of away from just kind of like your radio hit, is like at first I'm not into like 10,000 Days or Laterals. At first I'm like, I gave it a listen. I'm like, this isn't the Tool I like. This isn't so good.
Right.
You know, but over time, you know, I revisited it. I'm like, wait, this is actually good. You know, I just had to, you know, I had to get older, I guess. And that's not the best excuse, you know, because I really do believe that your job is to hit the audience over the fucking head with how great your shit is in their face. But, you know, these albums tend to age really well. I'm not sure about the newer one yet, but the other ones, Lateralis, 10,000 Days, fantastic albums.
Well, jumping back to the Dale Keown falling out of love or whatever. I also heard that once he left Image, you know, you're no longer that prime spot in the buyer's guide, right, for Diamond. So you're no longer clumped with the Image books. Now you're back farther. So a lot of comic shops might not have been seeing it either. So you might have been getting less and less issues going out. And like John said, the only reason why I had every single issue as a Pitt is because I would just constantly go to the comic book store, and I would just happen to be there, you know, on the day it came out, and I'd just grab a bunch of issues. Like that was the only way I was doing it, because I never knew when it was coming out. There was just no way of telling. It just kind of came out when it did. So there's a lot of things that kind of worked to the ending of it all, but overall, great series. I would still recommend it highly to everybody. You know, it kind of teeters off there towards the very end, but just some fantastic work, and some of my favorite that Dale has done up until I've seen some of the stuff he's been doing on Cyberfrog. Like the stuff you see right now, like the Salamandroid and the Heather and the Cyberfrog stuff, it's inspired. It looks inspired because even some of the Marvel stuff that Dale's done over the last few years just kind of looks like he was doing it. But this stuff looks inspired, like he's rejuvenated, and it gets me extremely jacked up to see what he's going to bring to All Caps when he does.
And most importantly is Kyle Ritter is the colorist. Like he understands color, and you put a master like Kyle on top of Dale. And again, like that issue 14 where Dale was just kind of on fire, like Kyle knows that, and Kyle does that time after time after time. We've seen it in Cyberfrog. Every page is beautiful. There's not a point in Kyle's work where he just starts phoning it in. Like Kyle didn't work today. You wouldn't see the garbage that we saw in issue 20 coming out of Kyle at any point. It would be Kyle on fire from page to page to page. So if Kyle is coloring Dale Keown, we're going to be in for a huge fucking treat for any kind of new fucking Pitt book. Because I mean, that's really it. So Dale can focus on his pencils and his gray tones and whatnot. And I think I even remember that Ethan said that Dale got into contact with Kyle and actually said, "Hey, do some of this like this."
Oh, so, nice.
You know, hopefully that was all for the better. Because like I said, there were parts where I saw in Dale's color where I said, you know, like, where's the pop? You know, where's those nice big oranges and reds when we had kind of that, just kind of the value on the page was kind of the same. So hopefully he's not toning down anything Kyle would do, because Kyle does great. Like if you guys look a lot of times it'll be like a red sky background or something like that, and then everything is very well colored. He's never moving to white that I'm aware of. But yeah, I mean it'd be fantastic. But if it's anybody else other than the Kyle, we might have a weaker effort.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, because Dale needs somebody on the level that Dale is on. But I tell you, even if Kyle is being motivated to more desaturated tones, if it's still within the realm of what was happening on issue 14, then that will be a huge treat. That will be a complete success across the board for any kind of new Pitt book.
I mean, just look at what Kyle did with the Cyberfrog sketch and then the Salamandroid. I mean, that just gives you a taste right there of what he's going to do with Dale's art. And yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Oh, is Mark streaming somewhere right
We're
now?
going to be streaming in a bit after this.
Oh yeah, you guys are going to be wrapping up.
Awake?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm picking Mark up. No, he's in a hotel, guys. I got him in a hotel.
What's going on, Eddie?
Down the way.
So he's not in John's basement.
Yeah, he's not in my basement. So at 10:30 tomorrow, I'm picking him up. Then we're heading to breakfast where we're going to meet up with Joe at 11:30, I think it said, and then then we'll be leaving there around, I don't know, probably around 1, and then we'll be heading out to Frankenmuth from there, and that's about a 30-40 minute drive. So that's why I said we would meet up with people there somewhere between 1:30 2:30.
What's up, Jasper?
So Bancroft raid?
Bancroft
ended streaming?
Yeah, I think he ended probably about 10 minutes ago or so. Yeah, Joey Jordison died. Rest in peace. Yeah,
that's terrible.
Yep.
Yeah, I was very disappointed to hear that. I just found that out. I think when we were streaming with when I was closed, we were doing a 3-hour stream with Mark this afternoon. I was talking about that. I was like, fuck, man, because I remember hearing. I was actually talking to my wife about Joey Jordison a few weeks ago because. I don't normally blast Slipknot, but I had it playing while I was drawing, and so we just started talking about Slipknot a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I'm like the drummer here got, he's pretty much booted from the band, but it turned out he had some kind of I don't remember what it was, like
MS.
Was it MS he had?
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't realize it was that.
Because he was such a fast drummer, man.
Yeah, he was talented.
Like he was always moving at like 100 miles an hour, but. They said when he was on tour, like he just was having trouble keeping up, and people thought it was drugs or whatnot, and it wasn't. It was MS.
Wow.
He didn't know until he got diagnosed, but basically he was booted from the band. My impression was because they thought he was fucking around,
right?
And, but whatever. I understand from them too. You don't know. It's going to be multiple sclerosis, so. But anyways, yeah, that's really sad, man. Real talented drummer. Fantastic stuff from that guy, and I was disappointed.
Yeah, Linkovich said that he wrote a bunch of guitar riffs too. Yeah, I mean he was a songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a loss in the music / metal community for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's too bad. What's up, Nick? Shout out to everybody that came over from Bancroft. We really appreciate it. Thanks to anybody. To any and everybody that subscribed over the last few days. John's really been out there pushing the stream out, and we really appreciate that. Been getting a lot of new subscribers. It's been awesome to go through each and every one of the issues that Dale did. This was a love of mine in my childhood, and it still is today. And I love the ability to be able to share it with everybody that checked this out. So if you didn't watch it, please go back and watch these streams. They're very fun. They're very informative. John goes over things like colors and lettering. We really dive into a lot of stuff. It's been an absolute pleasure to have John here to kind of bestow his knowledge of just the comic book aspect in general, not just talk about the art. So that's
great perspective. Yeah,
yeah, it's been absolutely great. As far as the series goes forward, I plan on doing more of these. I plan on doing more of these. I'm gonna look at guys like Michael Turner, Mark Silvestri. I mean, I'm just, this channel is basically my ode to all the artists that inspired me when I was a kid, made me want to draw. Made comic books great, and all the guys that I loved. And I want to dive into their work and do more live shows like this. And if you guys like them, let me know in the comments. Subscribe, and we'll definitely do more of these. But because if you ever go over Finch's Ascension, I have that would be awesome too. Yep, that would be great. Fantastic. I'll hit you up, Eddie. Definitely. But yeah, we're gonna bring this to a close. Thank you so much for everybody joining us. This has been absolutely fun. We might have a Pitt wrap-up show. I don't know if that'll happen or not. We'll keep you all posted. If not, I think we'll move. I'm gonna move on to another artist.
Yeah, look, there might be a Pitt wrap-up show, but it might be 2 years from now.
Yeah, that could be too.
That's when Dale's going to actually show up.
Yeah, so I wouldn't count on it anytime soon. But man, when I can get in contact with Dale, like I'll try to hit him up to come on and just have a conversation about Pitt here. So
this all rides on the shoulders of John.
No. Look, trust me. If you guys are on a stream with Dale Keown, by all means,
I don't know if that'll ever happen. Like that's what I said. Like you're the only one I think of this panel right now that's going to have any kind of talking.
No, it's going to be me, guys. He's going to come on my channel.
Yeah, there you go.
For no reason.
Just show up one day.
We all that's the great thing about Comicsgate though, man, is that we all have a real possibility of getting onto a stream with Dale Keown now. How fantastic is that? That's what I love. Like that's how comic books really needs to be operating these days. Is that possibility of real access. You're not marrying the guy, you're not stalking the guy. You're just in there having a conversation. You're on a stream one day, and then boom, who pops in? Oh well, there's Dale Keown having a conversation with 9 different people. So that's fantastic.
Jasper said I'd like to get Thurbert. I'm gonna call him Thurbert. I don't know if anyone saw the Art and Stuff show we did with him on Friday, but I told him that I used to call him Thurbert when I was a kid because I can't pronounce and I'm dyslexic. So
and then he said he's sweet like ice cream, which was kind of embarrassing.
But yeah, he said he would like to come on one of these shows sometime, and definitely so that might happen in the future as well.
Nice. Art did some cable work, and the inking,
my favorite cable work.
God, he inked. I think he inked that awesome fucking Wills, like one of the best covers. It's a Wills Portasio X-Men. It's like the double. What are the cover? It's what is it? Front and back cover. Why I can't think of the terminology for it. It's not gatefold. What the fuck is it? A front and back. It's the front and back cover of like X-Men when Potassium and like Colossus is ripping apart shit. I think the Sentinels are in the background, but it just amazing.
Introduction with a gold team, I think that was right.
So it's just like man, like that's something too. It's like pinch yourselves every now and then because we have some fucking real legends. Out here,
absolutely.
I mean, Graham Nolan, the dude,
wrap around.
Bane.
Wrap around.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. So
trifold.
Sometimes I go retarded.
I do. I mean, welcome to the party on that. Sometimes I'll be talking, my mind just goes blank. I'm like, fuck, I can't.
Slacker 2386 says, "Don't forget to fist bump Dale."
Yeah,
I left him hanging. I didn't know, man. So,
John talked a lot about Kickstarter / Indiegogo. I mean, you can check out a bunch of his streams he's done lately.
That's a conversation.
He's covered it to death. He's covered it to death. T-Bear worked on the Death Suit. He's been all over the place, man. It was a joy to talk to him. Absolutely awesome dude. Would love to get him on here talking about some art. But guys, I'm going to end this stream and let John get some rest because I think
he's going to lay down in bed, watch me stare at the ceiling all night. I'll probably watch someone stream. If Mark's streaming, I'll probably watch that or something. So
yeah, everybody check out the official close of Viking Wolf. I'm sure Mark is going to be doing until I think 3:00 is when it officially closes Eastern. So go check that out after you're done here. And if there's any new people in here, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. I would really appreciate that. Trying to grow this channel. and trying to just bring more content. I have a channel with Sean Ahrendt on Wednesdays and Fridays called Ott and Stuff. We do a show there, very fun. I know a lot of our viewers are in this chat as well. John, I know you are doing fulfillment, and we got some news about Godlike.
Oh, yeah. Well, we are doing fulfillment, and we're aiming to launch Godlike on August 1st. So that will be this Sunday. So I'm waiting on colors, though. So if I don't get those colors in, then we're going to postpone it. So
Get those colors in.
Sadly.
Get those colors in.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to move it along. I was told they would be done, but we'll see. And if Mark isn't streaming from his whirlpool hot tub that is in his room, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Primetime Poland is a YouTube channel, Jasper.
Yeah, I'll just say if we have any mods still in here, drop the link in there for Mark's channel. So hopefully we'll get a Godlike launch on Sunday. Keep your fingers crossed, everybody, because I know this is a very anticipated book campaign. And I can't wait to.
My fingers are crossed. Come on, don't let me down, man.
Mark just got out of the hot tub. Damn it! Gotta get back in there, man.
Yeah, you got to stream from that hot tub.
You got to do a hot tub stream. That's all. That's the craze these days. That's what the kids are doing.
I'll stream from my bathtub. So like,
wait, is Mark streaming right now, or is he?
We're about to.
Okay, so he's going to stream right after this.
Right,
yeah.
Cool. All right. Have a great one, guys.
All right, guys.
Good night, guys.
Talk to you all later. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Adios.